It's Friday. At least I think it is.
You know, I call this the retard clap. Do you remember this one?
Oh, yes.
G4.
Yeah.
G4.
Yeah.
The clap heard round or not heard round the world.
Tell him, Frosk.
The clap.
Said every out of work person in that room
The
today.
clap that every botted viewer listened to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where is Frosk now?
She's like become a Python developer or something like that.
No, she's a policewoman in Yorkshire.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. My bad.
Welcome to the show, everybody. We got a lot to talk about. Starfleet. Oh my God. Everybody's so excited. Listen, there's shows that just meet lowered expectations, and there's shows that you don't surpass them. You get lower than them, and it's managed to do it. And the third episode is actually worse than the first two.
It was amazing how it managed to steal all of its ideas from good places and then combine them into something awful.
Something awful. That's Kurtzman
Paramount
Trek, baby.
Plus way.
That's Kurtzman Trek. Kurtzman steals Trek and just makes it worse. So that's
Well, this had like Little Shop of Horrors, Starship Troopers. It had loads of good references.
Oh, it stole from Hunger Games at one point.
By the way, the Razzies came out this week.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Did you
they
see?
did.
They included a TV movie.
They did.
Section 31.
Yeah.
And it's one of the most nominated films ever in the history of the Razzies. So
I am sure.
Serves them right.
And it's
It's
made by
totally.
practically the same people who made Star Trek Academy. These big hits.
100%.
Well deserved. Michelle Yeoh with the worst actress nod.
Hey, she got $12 million bucks. She's good.
Yeah,
But
she
the-
did not.
But the leaders in the clubhouse are Rachel Zegler's Snow White and
We'll get to it.
Ice-T's War of the Worlds with
We'll get
6
to it.
each.
We'll get to it. Ice-T, I will stand with Ice-T or sit in a green screen room with Ice-T. That movie was entertaining. Okay. It was terrible, but it was entertaining. So yeah, we're going to talk about Starfleet. We're going to talk about the Razzies. We're going to talk about, I completely forgot what else we're going to talk about. Hang on.
He-Man.
He-Man.
He-Man. He-Man. Hollywood is leaving Hollywood in droves. Yeah.
Boned
Oh,
God.
where?
Boned God or whatever it's called. Boned. Fucking just died after the weekend.
28 years later.
Yeah.
Yes.
By the way, that movie's incredible.
I heard it's better.
It's incredible. It's
Well,
also
no
one
one's
of the
going to
most
see it.
metal movies ever made.
And
And
nobody went
Ray
and saw it.
Fiennes deserves all the awards.
The problem with 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple is I'm not going to watch it because I got so excited for 28 Years Later and fucking hated the movie. I love the promotional material. I love the trailer. I went in and I despised the movie. And I've heard great things about Bone Temple. I'm not interested. Like, you fooled me once. I'm not going to go back.
I would say, Ryan, give it a chance. Do this when it comes out on streaming or whatever. Watch it all as one thing. Watch it.
Okay.
It's one movie, and if you watch that film and you allow it to extend into the Bone Temple, it is an incredibly satisfying experience.
Then
Bone
maybe don't
Temple.
release it as 2 then.
Yeah, I would have made it was one movie.
I always thought a Bone Temple was an Eiffel Tower. I guess they changed.
Hey.
They changed the
If you don't
wording.
know what an Eiffel Tower is, back in episode 150, as demonstrated what one
he
is
does.
with one
Oh, yeah.
scale action figures.
With his dolls.
How
There
come
was
you know the episode number exactly?
Yes.
Wow.
It was iconic.
Also, Ray Fiennes letting slip who Voldemort is in the TV show.
I don't actually think if he let it slip, I think there's just as good a chance that he saw every single like random image, like whatever that gets posted around online of a casting that happens, because that's been fan cast for like a year and a half at this point, and may have just thought he was already cast, and that's why he said they've already made the announcement. Because like Cillian Murphy's, like, people have talked about him as Voldemort for forever, so I don't know.
That would
Like,
be great.
Everyone's like, he just let it slip. I'm like, he might just be a boomer that got fooled by stuff online and fake castings, just like everyone does. Like,
He lets it slip in the Bone Temple. I'll tell you that.
I wasn't supposed to do that on FNT. Sorry. Okay. Before we start, we got to take care of business. And it's the new year, and the IRS is going to come after you because I want to preface this read like I always do. Taxation is theft. Taxation is theft, but we still have to pay it right now. That's just the world we live in, unfortunately. So the IRS needs your money. The IRS needs more money, your money. And with President Trump pushing to abolish federal income taxes and replace them with tariffs so foreign countries pay Americans instead of American workers, Washington is scrambling to protect its revenue. Congress will fight tooth and nail to keep that from happening, and the IRS is already becoming more aggressive as it tries to prove it could still bring in billions if income taxes disappear. If you owe the IRS back taxes, which you don't want to do, they can garnish your wages, levy your bank accounts, and even seize your retirement or take your home. Don't let the IRS target you. Call the professionals at Tax Network USA. Their tax lawyers and enrolled agents are experts in powerful programs that may even help you eliminate your tax debt. Tax Network USA is an A+ rated and has saved over $1 billion of their clients. For their clients, whether you owe a few thousand or a few million, they can help you. With one phone call, you can start the process of stopping the threatening demand letters, stopping aggressive collections, and resolving your tax matter once and for all. But you must act now while you still have options. For free consultation, call 1-800-958-1000. That's 1-800-958-1000. Or visit tnusa.com/Nerdrotic. Don't let the IRS be the first one to act because they're evil. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Good job, Gary.
I owe them millions.
You read every
You
word.
know, I offered to record those ahead of time, and they're like, "No, we want you to read them live." And I'm like, "Why?
Why?
I don't understand.
Why? Do you want to just get Starfleet Academy over with, guys? Is this how we're feeling?
Let's
For good
as well.
That'd be great.
Get ready for 2 hours.
But
2
can I
hours
ask,
of this.
how much do you guys
Release the drones.
How much do you love me? I mean, honestly, really.
I love / hate it.
It's an hour of my life I'll never fucking get back.
I can only
If I plan to live till 90, then I might be more forgiving, but I don't. I don't have many hours left in my life, Gary. So that's a big chunk out of it right there.
Oh, you need
This
to put
show's
it
a
on
fucking
2x
brain
speed.
cancer.
I could only get through it by having Twitter on my phone distracting me. And whenever that Jem'Hadar fat lady came on screen, I'm like,
She is the best thing about the show.
I
How can
know
you
that.
not laugh at Unleash the Drones? Fire in the background.
oh, her voice is just like.
You mean Gina Yashir, the head lady?
The
British
one
lady?
who was exactly as miserable as you would be surrounded by these filth. Like, she is me
one.
in this TV series.
Okay,
She's
so
a funny
she hates
stand-up.
her job and she hates them and
can
she
we
doesn't mind
talk
telling them.
about? Can we? Okay,
She's actually, her performance is pretty good. She's a British theater
She's
actress.
a very funny stand-up.
Yeah.
I hate her in this, but anyway.
I think the problem that some fat overweight woman is in charge of all
telling
this
people to
physical
do
activity for all
push-ups.
these-
I know, right? Like she's trying, the one guiding people how to be fit and healthy.
Well, it's a bit rich when you say you're a discredit to the uniform when you can barely fit into yours, and they have to design it to come in like a fucking hourglass so there's plenty of black to disguise. So you can't do that. That's why you can't have somebody like that doing that job.
So
it just doesn't make sense.
One of the things about Jar Jar Trek that everybody hated was the lens flares, the excessive lens flares, the thousands and thousands of lens flares. So Kurtzman thought it was so great that he kept it 15 years later. We're still doing this. And there's
It's worse. There are scenes where you can't see the screen because the
see
lens
anybody.
flare just blows up the entire camera.
This one just popped up while I was working on my review, and it's it looks like she's got bad breath, or she's blowing out a heater.
Probably has.
Firing lasers out her mouth.
Probably has.
He eats some spicy Doritos.
But covering up the actor's face for an excessive amount of time, Robert, it's not like it's just there for a second. It's there the whole time she's talking.
I mean, they're trying to, cover up for digital backgrounds. But my whole problem, I mean, you know me, I'm Mr. In-Universe Star Trek guy. Here, you're asked to believe that there is a Jem'Hadar Klingon hybrid character that's also a lesbian, that's in a same-sex relationship. So my problem with this is that in Star Trek Deep Space Nine, the Jem'Hadar, of which she is one half of, were an all-male, genetically designed warrior species that were addicted to Ketracel White, a drug, basically space cocaine.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And so there were no females amongst the Jem'Hadar. So my question is, now you could come up with a great in-universe explanation, but these characters were conjured up. They were genetically engineered, conjured up by the founders. They were designed for one purpose, to kill. They were the soldiers of the founders, and they were the Vorta and the founders would dispatch them to do their bidding. So now we're asked to believe that 1,000 years in the future, it takes, by the way, 3 days to gestate them. We now have a Klingon Jem'Hadar hybrid, which means that the Klingons, a great honorable warrior race, somewhere in the lineage of this character, a Klingon would have procreated a Klingon female, because there weren't any Jem'Hadar females. They were not bred that way. So a warrior race that's honorable and respectable, why would they mess around with a race that was completely genetically engineered from a petri dish, first of all, by the founders? They, as a race of, and you could say they were freed from their bonds or whatever you want to do, but I don't really think anybody thought through the idea of making this particular character. Someone said they're both warrior races, man. Yeah, okay. But they did so many interesting stories about the Jem'Hadar and how, in a way, they were very tragic characters. And I just look at this character and I'm like, please explain to me how this character exists. So I watched the character, and in my mind as a Star Trek fan, I'm like, did you guys watch Deep Space Nine? Did you? Because you've taken the character from Deep Space Nine. The Jem'Hadar belonged to that show. And this is what you gave us? This is what you gave us. And maybe somebody thought, well, it shows that the galaxy is at peace. There's so many moral and ethical questions about this character.
But it's not at peace, because it constantly shows us it's not at peace. And
Well,
did you
that's
like
true.
it where last week she talks about how proud of her lineage she is on her mother's and father's side, and then this week she's a lesbian, her line will never continue.
Well,
She's clearly not that proud of her lineage at all, then, is she?
Was
really?
there a giant Federation rehab to get them off the... I mean, Robert, I think space cocaine's a good analogy, but if they're all male, I'm going to say space meth. Just going to say that.
Yeah.
Probably better.
That's right.
Yeah. And was there a big rehab? And then did they get their optional functional junk package? You know, how did that work out? Who did, you know?
They weren't even designed to procreate.
No.
Right, they didn't have dicks,
No.
right?
No.
Well, they were male.
Yeah, but
Whatever
you're
that
just
means.
gestating them for war. So it's not as if when you're creating them, you're creating them with junk, because you're just creating battle-hardened warrior. That's what you're doing.
That's what you're doing.
Yeah, so the likelihood is they got no junk, no nothing. Maybe an exit hole to get rid of excess so what? Yeah, but that's
or they're just infertile. I mean, because it's gonna be one or the other.
Right.
But
yeah.
but it goes to the fact that there's a lack of scholarship in a show about scholarship, and that's what bothers me.
Well, also, like, the different races in Star Trek were there for a purpose. So you had a warrior race, so you could tell what the aggressive person's stance would be. Then you had the Romulans, who weren't just sneaky for no reason. It's because they were massively outnumbered, so they had to use stealth against their basically superior opponents. Then you had someone else that had almost infinite warriors. So you can tell stories from multiple different perspectives. In this, I don't even know if the Romulans are stronger than the humans, because you've got all of these different species who are all climbing up ropes together, competing against each other, having fights with each other. None of them seem to have super strength or have any different kind of racial characteristics. Everyone's just turned into homogenous humans that look different.
Yeah.
And so then you can't tell all of those different stories because they don't like stereotypes. But that's how you tell the stories, via different stereotypical
100%.
positions.
they don't like stereotypes, but now Klingons are coded black and Romulans are coded sounded Asian.
They're called Klingons.
I think they're doing stereotypes pretty nicely right now.
This Klingon's definitely gonna fuck that human from the War College, right?
Yeah.
Like, obviously, I mean, when you cast a gay guy, you have to make him gay in the show, apparently, as well. Like, you got to make the gay guy has to play the gay Klingon who would rather birdwatch than fight, and he's obviously gonna have sex with this other dude from the War College. So.
Well, I mean, this week's episode was just so full of it. I totally missed in the changing rooms where Bully Boy just casually told everyone that he likes taking it up the wrong one as well. And I'm just like, what? When did that one? I heard that.
Remember the
Dave
baseline
Collins review.
I can't believe they were changing like right next to each other. The boys and the girls.
They were stealing from Starship Troopers like they did for multiple times in the episode.
I wouldn't mind changing next to one of the women in there. That fat fucking hologram, though. Like,
she's
I still don't understand how the holograms work. I don't understand.
Robert, why is there a hologram in the showers, Robert?
Why do holograms take a shower?
Why? Not only should there not be a hologram in the showers, why would a hologram not be programmed to be great? And what's interesting, again, the holographic civilization was introduced in Deep Space Nine. Now, I don't know if it's the same holographic civilization in a really interesting episode. But the thing is, they were born as holograms. The holographic civilization didn't even know they were holograms. And it's a really great episode of the show. And when you look at this stuff, it's like they borrow and steal all this material without thinking through the ramifications of it all. Like I'm 3 months old, but you can be programmed to do anything. Like even right now, today, our understanding of what that kind of, call it AI life, would be is way more advanced than the people that are writing this show understand it to be. And we're talking 1,000 years from now. And I think the great failing of modern Star Trek is they've not extrapolated how would humans be different? How would mankind have...
Well, they're a lot more retarded.
Well, apparently so.
Less horny.
Well, they also fundamentally don't understand Star Trek.
No, not at all. And it's all platitudes. It's all this weird surface. Let's talk about... I mean, the thing about Star Trek was it was very nuanced. Even though you look at the original 60s, you have to go back and look, first principles, look at the original Star Trek. And the people that were writing that show were also novelists, playwrights, screenwriters, short story writers. They were fantasists. And you had some of the great fantasists of all time working on that show that also wrote for The Twilight Zone. They wrote for Outer Limits. They wrote novels. You know, there were people like Richard Matheson who wrote 4 episodes of The Twilight Zone. He also wrote the novel I Am Legend.
Yes, he did.
Which has been adapted 3 times. The most recent, which was Will Smith's movie. But these are people that wrote books and wrote short stories. They were people that were contemplative of, they would have to, if they came up with an idea, they'd be like, okay, well, let's game this out. How does this work? How would we be 1,000 years in the future? Where would mankind? They're writing a show and they're asking us to believe that it's 1,000 years in the future, but there's no evolution at all. These kids are calling each other bro.
They're talking exactly like our 20-year-olds at Starfleet Academy speak exactly the same way that 20 to 25-year-olds speak now, modern day on Earth. Probably because that's the majority of people who wrote this show.
Well, and that's who they want. That's who they want watching. Although I haven't heard any of them say Riz yet.
Well, Robert Picardo. They're referencing mixtapes. They're referencing laser tag. Laser tag was a thing in the 80s and the 90s.
Yeah, it's not even relevant.
It's not even relevant. It wouldn't even be mentioned. They wouldn't even know what a mixtape is. They'd have no idea what laser tag was.
Robert Picardo spoke about that, and the way he said it, it sounded like he was just referring to something he'd been told about why they were doing, because he said, I had to get used to the way they were talking. As in Voyager, we were speaking sort of mid-galactic nowhere kind of thing. It was a higher form of language. And he said it was just because they want young people in the show, so we had to speak at their level so that they could relate to it. That is that's all the thought that went into it.
No sense.
They think you're stupid.
Yes.
Yeah, it is looking down on the audience. And Kurtzman actually described how he wrote. Normally, you would think that you would write sci-fi, coming up with some kind of idea that you want to analyze, and then the character personalities that you've come up with naturally tell the story about how they all react to whatever it is as they would react in real life. He starts the other way around. He starts at the end with an emotion that he wants the characters to feel, and then tries to make a story that ends at that emotion. It says he's constantly going backwards to all different storylines that may add to it, ends up in like dead ends and has to restart from scratch again. And so this is why all the story comes across as the latest part, because it's about priority. Do you care about the ideas of the sci-fi or the emotions? And he just wants the characters to feel a certain way.
That's,
you know what? Oh, sorry.
No, you go on, Robert.
Do you know what I find sad about the whole show? Is that we live in a world where academia is failing us.
Mm-hmm.
And for my entire life, I've always there are subgenres of storytelling I love, and one of those is people in school, and like Dead Poets Society.
Yeah,
love that movie. Movies like Lords of Discipline or School Ties. When I was a kid, there was a show called The Paper Chase that was based on a movie of the same name that had John Houseman. It was a Harvard Law School show, and John Houseman. You can look this up on YouTube. Look up a Paper Chase, the Socratic Method, where he talks about teaching. I mean, imagine if you made a Starfleet Academy show where the big nemesis was the Vulcan first contact professor that dealt with the ethics and morality of meeting a new race and how you did that. I mean, the prime directive in Star Trek, non-interference. And your show would delve into all the ramifications of that. And you'd be dealing with when Robin Williams teaches the kids in Dead Poet Society about poetry, let's make getting together. And I understand people are like, well, how is that going to work in a sci-fi show? But the idea of knowledge being passed down, it's like Prometheus stealing the fire from the gods. You're looking at our civilization, our world today. An academic show set in the Star Trek universe could have been spectacular. It could have been something that was all about interacting with ideas and showing two disparate points of view clashing. Mm-hmm. And instead, that's not what we got.
No.
You mean Good Will Hunting in space? I would watch that.
Well, exploring moral
exactly,
right?
Exactly. It would be better than this. But Robert was talking about the experience of past writers, because they had lives. They went to war. A lot of those writers for Twilight Zone and Star Trek were veterans. Gene Roddenberry was a cop, and now we have Nancy Drew writers writing Star Trek or The Magicians. And Star Trek is not the highest minded show in the world. It's not, but it's a smart show, and it never, ever talked down to its audience. And that's why it was so successful. And that's why it had mass appeal. We'll get to that later, by the way. That's why it was made for everybody, Robert. It was absolutely made for everybody.
Made for everyone.
Mm-hmm. But if the showrunner's your way, sorry, you go, Disparu.
The showrunner in this has spoken that in episode 2 and 3, she thinks she handled a moral quandary. And she doesn't realize that there was no kind of analysis of it. It was Starfleet has the correct idea. They have the one point of view which is right, and the other guy is just a villain who needs to be convinced or manipulated in some way. But to her, that is analyzing the moral quandaries that, well, obviously the wall is wrong. Obviously they should just join us so we can exploit them for their resources.
Even though we abandoned them.
Yes. Starfleet is evil in this world. They've done everything wrong, and now they're just trying to exploit the galaxy. Now they've got warp speed and nobody else does.
We get retards in space and holograms licking rocks. Great show. Great.
Yeah, and if we have a smart show, like you say, it never tried to be too lofty, but it just trying to make you use your gray matter, then how can we have 5 people say that they're LGBTQ plus IA2 plus limited by the power of 6 in one episode, which was yesterday?
It's forced. It's everything in this show is forced.
Exactly. And when things are forced and thrust down your throat, you don't respond by going, that's great. You respond by pushing them away. That's the natural reaction of having something forced down you, is to push away. So when you have all this constant messaging, oh, you must accept. No, when you tell me I must do something or I have to do something, or it's the right thing to do something, then the natural reflex is to go fuck off. So instead of actually getting people on board, instead of actually creating characters which are endearing that maybe you can just gravitate towards regardless of their way of life, you can't, because you got one guy going, hey, I'm bi, okay? Then you get two teachers in front of a pupil,
in front of a student,
going, we're lesbians.
Dinner. Yeah.
Which is
at
the most
at a military
inappropriate thing that you
academy.
would
At a
do.
military academy, and that's
right.
Like, because this is what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be some sort of military academy, and the idea that those two teachers, one, just the image of them having sex is enough to induce vomiting, but that they would be discussing their romantic involvement, they would be doing all this stuff in front of a student is wild. And then combine that with Holly Hunter and the entire way that she's playing this character, which is as insufferable as you could
laying
possibly
down
imagine,
the whole time.
for like the head of this organization to act the way she does, to look the way she does, to lounge around, the constant barefoot thing, which is very strange. I feel like some persons, I don't know if Quentin Tarantino showed up on set and convinced him to do this.
Ryan, doesn't it remind you, the constant barefoot thing, doesn't it remind you of this other show we watched where like the young guy in charge of it always had his feet on the table? Which show was that?
Alien Earth.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And he would have this like laissez-faire attitude towards leading,
but it shows that she's got no respect for anybody else.
It's
because
another
it's her
forced
way.
thing.
When she's in the other guy's, chambers, she lounges. She just lounges all over his stuff. Bare feet. She knows it's against code to do that. She doesn't care because the only thing that's important in her world is her.
Well,
that's it.
And it's so forced because they're like, we need to show her laissez-faire character trait constantly. Every scene she's in, she's like contorting herself on a chair or a couch towards, it's funny at this point.
It's funny.
It's like, are you doing yoga while you're negotiating? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
But also the idea of like you think about these great stories, like we talked about Good Will Hunting. There's a great scene in that movie where Stellan Skarsgård and Robin Williams are talking about the disposition of Matt Damon's character. And Matt Damon is this genius, but he's squandering his genius, work, because he is from a blue collar world. And they're like, what could this person do with the proper motivation? What could this person bring to humanity? What could he do? And the idea of academia itself is all about human beings being able to explore thought and ideas, and unfettered from derision and the professors are supposed to encourage people to explore, to encourage that intellectual fire. And it's those people, by the way, the smartest of the smartest get into Starfleet Academy. But that's not even there.
No.
And we make it, but these are the people that are going to lead humanity. The idea that we're going to take all the great works, all the philosophy, all the thought, and what Star Trek used to do was they would make up, like in Star Trek 4, there's a great throwaway gag where Spock he says, nothing unreal exists, which is from a Vulcan philosopher named T. Planahoth. Who's that? I don't know. But nothing unreal exists. It's just a philosophical concept they used to would make up. And that's what I miss from a show like this. I thought a Star Trek show like this could be about the joy of knowledge, the joy of how academia and the exploration of ideas and philosophies and conflicting, you should make the professors should be both the protagonists and the antagonists of the show.
Yes.
Yeah, make the audience feel like they're in college again.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Well, the other thing too is it needs to prepare them for the unknown. Look at the Kobayashi Maru. That was such an important
100%
within Starfleet. I'm sorry, Starfleet Academy.
They will solve the Kobayashi Maru in this show.
Well, I'll tell you how
through
much
the power of friendship or bumming each other.
I'll tell you how much thought they put into this because, as you know, Robert, and most people here on the panel, Star Trek Academy has been floated around for years. This is an idea that's been floated around for years, and it's never come into fruition. The amount of thought that Alex Kurtzman and his ilk put into it was, we want it to be Harry Potter,
In space.
That's why we had magic plants in this one. It's very
no
herbology. We got
biology
here.
Yes.
They have their version of Quidditch now. With
They did. Yes, they did. I was during my watch party. I'm like, it's time for Quidditch.
It was lazy.
Yes.
the issue with the academic thing in this, though, is that to do what you do, you'd have to think means to be willing to be offensive, because if you come up with a new idea, everyone that believes in the old idea is immediately going to get offensive because they might have wasted their life on a dead end of knowledge. And this wants to push a certain correct solution on people, and so you've immediately knocked out any other opposing opinions. And even when they try and do a message, so at the end of this they said, I wanted to teach them to use empathy against the people as a weapon, and that's a great idea. But earlier in the show, the one time a guy used empathy against her by knowing her weaknesses, he had to apologize and say that he manipulated her, and it's like, no, she was in the wrong because she overreacted and lost.
Okay,
but they were on the same team.
Disparu, this is not the first time Kurtzman has introduced empathy. He really overused that word in Star Trek Discovery. I believe it was season 3.
They don't know what it means.
They don't know what it means. They have no freaking idea what it means.
All of Strange New World is just telling Spock that if he feels emotion, he'll be way stronger and better. That's the.
We need Spock to not be Spock.
Entire series.
You max headroom there, buddy.
Yeah,
that was a good freeze. Yeah,
I thought everyone is. I'm just like, is it my internet's going crazy? Like everyone's like bouncing.
I didn't know what happened.
It's going to be iffy here in Texas, so we'll see.
But if this was a 90s Star Trek show, like if this was a Next Gen, a DS9, or a Voyager, the way the episode started with the guy sending the note to his parents, saying how he's getting up earlier than everyone else, training, he's going to bed later than everyone else because he's studying, whatever it may be. That would be the focus of this story, episode.
Yes.
But instead,
and there'd be like a B story. There'd be
and then there'd be a B story connecting. Yeah. So there'll be a through run, there'd be a B story, but that would be his sort of journey in this episode. We are 90 seconds into the show, maybe less, maybe even 60 seconds into the show. And everything he's just done at the beginning, is immediately undercut by the girl, by the little princess girl. Immediately, I get up earlier than you. I did go to bed later than you. I study harder than you. She wasn't his fucking Moby Dick. His parents' reaction to how he is, his parents' responses to it's all or nothing. That was the through line. That was the important element. And they fucked it up immediately by putting it to some quasi competition of this tiny little fucking girl.
Well, as you could read that as a little bit of like a cheeky flirtation too. Like maybe you could look at that and be like, okay, who knows? Maybe they'll get
so when
together
he told her in the
later
shower
on.
that he likes it up the shitter, is that tiny flirtation?
Maybe he's bi.
He is bi because he then I like it. I fucked this dude, and then we didn't work out because I fucked his sister, and then I fucked his other sister, and then I fucked her cousin.
Well, they said
this. But all of that was like the in-betweeners. It was that guy bragging who's like, I shag all these, but he's like never done any of it. So
bullshit,
like he bragged about getting stabbed and everything. So all of that is a lie.
But even so, does that belong in the context of Star Trek?
No.
And the thing about Star Trek from the beginning, go back to first principles, 1966. Sometimes that they would give you like a submarine story in Balance of Terror.
Yep.
But you would have two captains of ships, one a Romulan, one Kirk, both competent. These characters were both doing their duty, what they were supposed to do. And at the end of the episode, there's a great moment. It's one of the great Star Trek moments ever when the Romulan knows he's beaten, and he's on the view screen, and he looks at Captain Kirk, and there is a mutual recognition of excellence in everything that they've done. And the Romulan commander, the villain of the episode, says, "In another reality, I could have called you friend." And that's what Star Trek would do. It would always elevate. Like something like Dead Poet Society, like Good Will Hunting. And I think one of the things, even one of my favorite modern shows of the 21st century, I don't love sports. I mean, I like certain things. Friday Night Lights, which is a show based around Texas football. But that show is a show about morality, about friendship, about family. It is a show in all of its 5 seasons elevated the experience of high school into a different realm. And I thought, if you made a show, if I made Starfleet Academy, I would have looked to something like Friday Night Lights as something I would emulate, because you had adult characters like Coach Taylor as Captain Kirk, and he had a stable family and dealt with all of those kinds of things and was able to help everyone else. This show is about the fact that the kids are much more important than their very professors that teach them. And shouldn't a story about academia at its core be about enlightenment?
Well, there's no anchor. The show hasn't got an anchor. There isn't an anchor character.
No.
There isn't a character that you look at and you look at Picard, solid as a rock. You look at Sisko,
he should have been. They should have looked
rock.
at him as a professor.
Mm-hmm.
You should. Can you imagine if you had a show where because you saw what's so funny in Next Generation? There's a 5th season episode called "The First Duty." I think it's the 5th season, where it's at Starfleet Academy, and Wesley's an Academy member, and he's gotten embroiled himself in a mistake.
Tom Paris.
It's Tom Paris. Yeah, Nick Locarno, aka Nick Locarno. Yeah. And there's the show. There's also a 1st season Next Generation episode called Coming of Age, where and they're both Wesley centric episodes, where you see someone has died, and the kids covered it up. They were grandstanding, and somebody died, and Picard comes in to take care of things. And you look at that episode, and you're like, that is infinitely better than anything they've shown us on this show, and they've already had it. It's an episode set at Starfleet Academy.
You could have done that. Another good example. Another good example of what they could have done is like what we had with Troy when she was going. I think it was officers training or command school training, and she basically has to make a choice to send Geordi into a situation where he's going to die. And this is the thing that a lot of these young men and women should be learning, is that you hold in the hands life and death, the decisions of who's going to live and who's going to die, based off the decisions you make out in the field. And that's the main thing.
But now comics, now it's empathy and how you feel about something.
Oh yeah.
No, they're not trying to make this a big brain. They're not trying to make this a big brain show. And just like what Robert said, like they should treat their audience like, okay, they are trying to go for like the CW drama vibe. They are trying to make it like a Euphoria in space. But wouldn't it be nice if they assumed their audience was like, college level smart? It's a missed opportunity.
When the people writing it aren't smart, that's kind of a problem.
I would way rather this be Euphoria in space and everybody was just on drugs or trying to kill themselves. I would feel better about the show if that was the case.
The writer is a lower decks. The writer is a lower decks writer, which is why you've got all this weird comedy.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's like you're using animated comedy, which is meant to be wacky. People are stabbing each other in the legs and stuff, and you're putting live action. It doesn't work. All it does is make them all look stupid. So now you can't respect anyone of them. You have the Doctor, who's like 800 years old. You could have had him over that time evolve into a Picard-like figure who he's captained his own ship. He's done all this stuff. He's got more knowledge than everyone else combined in this entire world. It's like, there you go. But no, we got to play.
We don't get that from Holly Hunter's character, who's 400 something years old. We don't get that wisdom at all. And they tried to pull it off in this episode, like, oh, she was so smart. She was behind the whole thing. It was fucking terrible.
You can have great characters and smart characters, and a show becomes next level when it can take those incredibly smart characters and then fool them. Like The Defector. The episode The Defector is just one of my favorites for the Next Generation.
Season 3.
Season 3, episode 10-ish. You have these very competent characters. You've seen them competent. You've seen them go through so much, and then you've just seen them completely outplayed by the Romulans. Completely outplayed, and it ends. I mean, you talk about the death of the Starfleet cadet in that one with Wesley Crusher, which is a great one. This ends, of course, with the defector killing themselves because they realize they have just thrown everything away. They've just thrown it all away. Their family, their life, everything. Everything they thought they believed and knew. No, you'd just been absolutely played, and that's competent people, and that shows, because you don't then look at them like they're incompetent. you then look at the Romulans and you go, my God, how smart were they?
Yes.
You know, how big a threat are they? How legitimate are they? In this show here, there's no anchor. There's nobody that you look at in this show and you go, they can solve this. They can sort this. They're the smart one. They're the people that can walk in the room and go, stop, and everyone will stop immediately. There's nothing like that because it's a circus. It should just be called Starfleet Circus. It's a fucking bunch of clowns. Look.
So relaxed.
So annoying.
Oh, dude.
The showrunner said. The showrunner said she got. The showrunner said she got a call from people on the crew when they were filming. They're like, she's lounging in her chair. We don't know what. We've tried to stop her, but she won't. It seems like all of this is the actress's choice, and they just like went along with it. Yeah, wow. They said it felt like something a 500-year-old person would do because she sat in every position and she's kind of mastered sitting. This is how you would sit after 500 years.
Yeah, I remember seeing Elrond do this all the time in Rivendell. Yeah.
You know, we were talking about the writing before, and there was a line in this episode that I think encapsulates the peak level of writing they felt that they achieved. In fact, I reckon not only were they high-fiving themselves in the writer's room when they wrote that line, they had to compliment the line in the episode itself, where that large lady says, they shenaned once, now they shenan again.
That's
their pinnacle of writing.
Shad, this is the same team that put together Time Folds In on Itself like an origami chicken.
It was like, I actually don't mind the shenan joke. Not in Star Trek,
that
though.
Was funny.
Like a stupid, dumb little pun like that does not belong in what this show is supposed to be.
My problem is that they thought it was so clever and so great that they had to like even point it out in the episode. It's like, that's
pat themselves on the back.
There's a lot of that, though. So when she's trying to hint to them discreetly, because she's like, well, I can't cheat, so I can't tell you the answer. So I'm going to tell you, well, it's like biometric sensors. And then for 10 seconds, she's staring at them. Do you get the hint? Do you get it? And he shouts, is anybody listening? I'm like, what?
Is anybody listening? Listening?
Oh, God.
Listening,
oh, God.
Listening.
She screams growth.
Ryan, it also shows that she had the whole thing from the very beginning.
Oh, she did. Ryan, they put that in a trailer. They were so proud of that. Is anybody listening? Oh my God!
It's no wonder that trailer got 100,000 dislikes to like 3,000 likes.
Not enough. It's not enough.
We're talking about the way she talks. That's just Holly Hunter. She had like she's always spoken that way. Like some like hearing impairment she had when she was a kid. I don't remember exactly what it is, but she's always like that's a very like notable part of her speech. It's not like she's putting that on for the character or anything.
Okay.
I just think that they've missed out on the genre they're working in. You know, there is such a things like Sidney Poitier, To Sir with Love.
Oh,
you go
great
back
film.
you go back in time and the mentor-student relationship, in terms of all of history, and not to don't
Educating Rita.
Oh, what a great film that is!
Right.
And that whole thing about
that should be Caleb. That should be Caleb in this fucking show.
That is a great analogy for all of you. If you haven't seen Educating Rita, it's a terrific film. But that's what I see. There's that school is a genre of storytelling, and we have such a rich history of it. And you would think that Star Trek, as it always did, would embrace these kinds of stories to aspire. There's stories that make. I started watching Star Trek when I was 5 years old, the original series. I didn't need it to be made for me. And even when it was as an animated show, the animated Star Trek won a Peabody Award or won a Child's Emmy Award for talking up to its audience. And this seems like they're trying to pander to an audience, and that's
what the audience is dumb.
An audience that's never going to watch it, Robert. No. Ever going to watch it. They've already lost generations. The average age of a Star Trek fan's got to be 40. Might be older.
Oh yeah, Frakes has spoken about that. They asked him like, "What are the age of people that come up and sign you?" Right, it's not low.
It's like, it'd be like 50s. It's got to be like 50s or above.
But that's a modern thing to write down. Oh, it's kids' TV, so we can write down to them. They don't appreciate that if you write something for the top of people, everyone else can still appreciate it. They just appreciate it on their level of what they can like understand. If you write it for the bottom level of people, all these people hate it because it's just too dumbed down for them. So you end up cutting out more people than you include when you do that kind of thing.
It's the same thing we're talking about with all these things that are trying to find this mythical modern audience bullshit. And the reality is all you end up doing is alienating people who are actually fans of the franchise, gaining no one in return. Well, we've seen it with Star Wars. We've seen it with all these things. Hey, you have this predominantly male audience and that's who it's made for. Well, we're going to make it. We're going to try to attract the female audience and hopefully these men still stick around and watch. Well, not only do the men not stick around and watch, but the 30% of your audience that were women, even though it wasn't necessarily targeted towards them, that liked the franchise, that enjoyed it, they are alienated and turned off by what you're doing to it as well. So what they should do for Star Trek is make it for old geezers like you motherfuckers. Make it for the audience that it's actually intended for. And guess what? Of that 18 to 30-year-old crowd that you're so desperately trying to get into it, there's going to be a handful of people that actually do like that, even though it's not 100%. Necessarily made for them. They're going to find it just like you guys did back in the day. They're going to find it. They're going to latch on. You create the next generation of fans for that IP. Instead, you completely and utterly destroy it and desperately hope that the 1% of people who like fucking each other in the ass in the universe somehow find this show and love it. And it's not going to happen.
Just on Twitter, just on social media. That's what they get. They gain keyboard warriors. That's what they earn. They don't earn any watchers. They don't earn any viewers. Like all the ratings will continue to go down, but they do gain those keyboard warriors. For some reason, they still think that matters.
If you appeal to the superficial, you'll get the superficial.
Exactly.
And the superficial don't engage in your show. They engage on social media.
One of the worst things that's happened to Hollywood is marketing departments. Yeah. And marketing departments breaking everything down into demographic, sub-demographic, sub-demographic, when that wasn't thought about when Star Trek was made. There might have been a couple of demographics, but now there's like 82 demographics that they have to try to please, and they're trying to find a specific one, which is absolutely insane. Ryan, what you were talking about, the loss of word of mouth. That's the only thing that absolutely works to this very day is word of mouth. Word of mouth, it might not necessarily help a movie in the theater this weekend, but it'll help it later on. Word of mouth is still the strongest marketing. And when you alienate that old fandom, when you're Kathleen Kennedy saying you don't want to cater to 50-year-olds, those 50-year-olds are what make little kids. And those 50-year-olds have kids that they pass it on to Star Wars or Star Trek.
Yes.
And I can't recommend Star Trek to my kid. I wouldn't even have him. But you know what rules streaming numbers? Old Star Trek. When you put it comparatively after their initial run, and you're about a year after whatever new Star Trek series, you know what the top 5 Star Trek shows on streaming are? Next Generation, Original Series, DS9, Voyager, Enterprise.
Yes.
They remain that. And you know what? I'm guessing some young people are watching it. More young people are watching that than they're watching the new stuff.
We've been watching DS9 with our kids as well. And guess what? My sons, they're in their teens, 14 and 16. They love it. Like shocking because it's a good show that engages, interested people.
Because Morality Tales doesn't take a political side.
No.
Right.
Morality Tales and social issues, not social justice, social issues are relevant regardless of the decade that you're in. That's why we can watch The Prisoner today. Robert and I did that a few years ago. We can watch that today and see current day in the messaging that's being provided, because those themes, thematically, they will always exist within society.
One of my favorite things I've ever done, dude, was our review series. We did 18 episodes on The Prisoner.
Yes.
And where we reviewed, or maybe 19.
Maybe 9. I think we did 19. I think 19, we did a start, then we did the episodes, then we did an end. Yeah.
And that was a show that was made in the 60s. That has become more relevant, I think, than ever.
Yeah. It deals with council culture. It deals with social media. It deals with communism, essentially, because the destruction of the individual to be assimilated into the collective.
And talk about identity politics. It's one of the greatest, most insightful pieces of entertainment that ever dealt with identity.
Yeah.
And what it means to be an individual.
Yeah, but that's it. The identity is the self. It's not, what we nowadays.
It's got a comic by Jack Kirby and Gil Kane.
Yeah,
also, identity politics in this is what has removed the differences between the races. Same things happened in D&D. You can't have orcs be stronger or certain races be naturally evil. Well, the thing is, Klingons are just warriors. That's what they are. Romulans are sneaky. You can't, when the moment you get rid of that, you remove the point for their existence. And by trying to come across as this is the way you are, there was in the Pale Moonlight in Deep Space Nine, where it ends on the I can live with it speech. That is about what would you do to prevent something worse, and that leaves it open. He's even struggling with what he's done himself at the end of that, and he doesn't know what to think of it.
He'll never be free of it. He'll be haunted forever.
But he's willing to. It's like Section 31. He's willing to take on the burden to protect other people from having to do it. Whereas in this, they would have just said he was evil. Oh no, you made the wrong decision. You should have done something else. You should have let all those people die rather than do that because that's a wrong action. And so there is no room for those kind of morality tales. And at that point, it's not a morality tale. You're just being... it's not even lectured to. You just have to remember. It's like reading a book and just writing it down again. You're not meant to think for yourself.
Well, it's what Kurtzman said. This is not about Star Trek. It's about having a platform and using that platform to push their agenda.
But their agenda is ill-considered and not thought through.
Yeah.
It's
inconsistent.
It's the modern progressive agenda, which is actually completely at opposition to the universal values that Star Trek used to, excel at. Because these morality tales, these are things that everyone could agree on from both sides of the aisle, right? But now the woke agenda has flipped it on its head, where fundamental concepts like heroism, which is an inherently masculine concept, right? The man, saving the damsel in distress and stuff like that. That is founded in so many kind of concepts of heroism, but that's problematic. That's toxic masculinity. Now we have girl bosses who's not only going to save themselves, they're going to talk down to their men and put them in their place, just so that man knows that the mere thought that he could actually save a woman was misogynistic. How dare you impose your will on a woman? And so that's the underlining morality that is all throughout this show. Girl bossing everywhere, anything like that, which is specifically made.
That's why you can't.
Traditional values.
Sorry, Shad. I apologize. But you're right, and that's what was missing from the show is that mentor relationship that Robert's looking for. We're never going to get it because even with the women, they're only going to let them mentor so much. But you will not see a dude mentor. Period. Basically, the doctor is the only prominent male teacher. And
he said he's not a mentor. That was a lie.
And he said he's not a mentor. I'm nobody's mentor. And that's the problem with the message. And that's the problem with when you are approaching storytelling and you put the guardrail and rules on yourself of, well, we can't have handicapped people overcoming their handicap. We can't have a male mentoring a female because that would look like misogyny. And these things are in the backs or the fronts of the minds of the writers for Star Trek. It is obvious, and all of it is forced. And what it's counterintuitive to creativity. Not that they have any. It's not that they have any. But
it's counterintuitive to truth.
It is, and there's no masculinity in the show. And sorry to the people who said Star Trek wasn't made for any of us here. Star Trek was a masculine show. It was a masculine show. Mostly dudes watched it. Now, I will say, out of all the genre out there that I've experienced, and it's very anecdotal, that Star Trek probably had a larger female audience, even in the early days of Star Wars, more than Star Wars.
It did because of Spock. Spock was a female figure of adulation.
Yes,
that was surprising to the producers and to Spock, to Leonard Nimoy himself.
Women were like, "Wow, what a logical being!" That really attracted them for some reason because the complete total opposite of them. Is that what it was?
That was the thing in their show. It was all about a guy who had to learn that taking advantage of a woman's emotions was wrong. Then he had to make himself subservient to her and put her into a leadership position. That was the story of the show. They couldn't show her to be better. They had to drag him down and make him naturally subservient to her. And what she should have learned. That was her weakness. He found her pressure point, and she's like, "It was wrong of you to do that." The Tal Shiar would not care if you had daddy issues and exploit it. Like, "Oh, sorry, that would be really wrong of me."
No, but and what I find interesting, the other team would just, we're ceasefire. That man exploited her emotional state. We cannot tolerate this. We are leaving the battlefield until you've resolved. And Jaden, the gay Klingon, He's there. He is the rejection of toxic masculinity in the show, because the Klingons are the warrior race. He's the male character, because the other half Klingon, of course, is female. So it doesn't matter about her. She can be as masculine as she wants. That's fine. So Jaden has had all of that warrior stripped from him. And so every time a fight erupts and they go, hey, we're going to use our Klingon, he goes, no, because he's
neutered.
Rejecting toxic masculinity.
But do you know what's worse about that is they've equated the idea of honor that
he
they
has no honor.
People, it doesn't matter what your sexuality is. What you can have honor and you can still be a bird watcher. And in this show, you can't. They're trying to say that, okay, our Klingon character, if you come from a civilization that believes in honor, you would apply that honor to every aspect of your life. It's not just about battle. It's about living a life of honor, which means if you're going to study botany or you're going to be a bird watcher, you're going to be the best bird watcher. You're going to bring that honor to everything like that Sean you do.
But you wouldn't as a Klingon, though, because that wouldn't actually exist in the Klingon society. The honor that a Klingon does get is through war, through battle, through strife, through death in battle. That is the pure achievement. You survive to be old, you are shunned by that society.
But
you
wait
are
a minute.
honorless.
Klingons still have shipbuilders. They still have scientists. They still have political thinkers. They still have, and everybody honor would be carried, because not everybody can be, not their entire civilization.
We've seen their political honor, though.
No, but I'm saying that you would bring honor to everything you do, because there would be Klingon mathematicians. There'd be Klingon strategists. There would be Klingon every walk of life. If you were a barista, because there's Starbucks on the Klingon homeworld, you're going to make the best cup of coffee that anybody could make, because if your Ractagino was lesser than someone else's down the street, you would fail.
That would be a female job.
You would still have that. You would still have that aggressive fight, though. So if you were making coffee and someone didn't like your coffee, you would fight him.
Yes,
like that in any position. The engineers would be fighting each other and stuff.
But you wouldn't
dishonor my coffee.
But the thing is, here's the thing: you wouldn't translate the fact that someone didn't like your coffee. You'd make your coffee better. You wouldn't go and fight somebody. What you would do is like, my job at this point, because I have to make money before I before I join the IKS or whatever, the Imperial Klingon Navy, they still have a society that has to work. But the idea of honor would be brought to every level of that society. And even if it were confrontational, if your coffee is better than mine, I'm going to make my coffee better than yours. Because our job right now is, I'm a 16-year-old Klingon. I got to make money because I want to buy a chopper.
Played by a 30-year-old man.
Well, yeah, but I mean, that's the thing. They would, and it's not just one thing. The idea of honor would be applied just like the way of the Bushido in Japan. You know, you would apply that to every aspect of your life, no matter what it was.
But you wouldn't have a bird watcher. You just wouldn't have a Klingon bird watcher.
There are people. There would be botanists in the.
There would be categorizing them, maybe. But you wouldn't have like, oh, this is my life's work is to sit amongst the trees and view the pretty birdies.
But remember, there would still be philosophers. You'd still have to understand like Sun Tzu.
Talk to me about Klingon Shakespeare, Robert.
Well, you know, you don't know Shakespeare until you've read it.
Exactly.
They would probably
be original Klingon.
So I am probably the least familiar with Star Trek of anyone here, but wouldn't they, even if they did have necessary need of those in a society, wouldn't they be looked at as less than the warriors, like just realistically?
Well, but here's the thing: you'd still they have a civilization that has incredible technology. You know,
a lot of it was stolen.
Well, stolen,
but they weren't meritocratic
through conquering.
But Klingons were meritocratic. When Riker went over there, despite the fact that he could have been an amazing leader, he could have been a way better leader than them, they were like, you either beat me up or I'm taking your position. Yeah. It was just through strength, even commanding on a ship. It wasn't.
Well, but you still
whoever was the best for the job.
You know, you still have to have great academic knowledge as well.
Yeah, but I think it would be all through the lens of warfare and combat. Like the botanist wouldn't be studying it for the love of plants; he'd be studying it about how they could
poison. Well, no poison.
Chemical warfare or something like that.
But that's a little. But don't you think though that also you would apply knowledge? Let's say you're a philosopher, because there is Klingon philosophers. Yes, combat but honor can be applied to any task. And I think that they have to have running water in Klingon buildings, and you're going to have Klingon plumbers, and you can bet your ass that they can beat the shit out of any opponent.
I can see blue collar working class Klingon. I can't see a birdwatch. And listen, Robert, you've given it far more thought than anybody in the show did. Bless you.
But the problem isn't
giving myself up.
The problem isn't specifically the bird watching aspect. I do think that it's a weird choice, and they obviously want to make this dude gay, and like it all goes into that. The bigger problem is that he's so like anti-war, like he doesn't want to hit anybody. He doesn't want to that's it combined with that. It's what makes it really fucking weird. It's not the idea that, okay, this warrior has a very unique hobby or something. It's the fact that he is completely antithetical to the idea of putting his hands on anybody.
Well, that's the real problem. They've denigrated what Klingons are. They've said that, okay, we're going to create a character that is the reverse of what Klingons normally are, meaning that Klingons in general, there's something wrong with them. They've come along and said, our Klingon character
it's domesticated.
Better than these Klingon characters. And I would say that's not fair.
And they've made them all black as well.
Yeah, which is low-key racist.
Yeah, just like the Romulans are now always being portrayed by Asians.
Yep.
Well,
so what's that?
The next generation, they did that because it was literally a production issue.
Well, next generation, you still had plenty of white and black Klingons. You still had, plenty of white people. Well, predominantly white people were playing Romulans. Now in Kurtzman Trek, it's just black Klingons full stop. And every time we seem to get a prominent Romulan, they're just Asian and typically female as well. Asian female.
Right.
Unless they're Irish.
Nobody wants the Irish.
I don't even know what she was pretending to be, dude, but she was hell with a fucking Romulan.
Cheeky fuckers.
She's trying to intimidate a guy, and she's legitimately going like that. Like, you can't take anyone seriously looking upwards that much.
By the way, Ash, we had a half Klingon in Kalar, Worf's mate, the mother of Worf's child, Alexander.
Right. Yes.
That was a great, nuanced character.
Yeah, great casting.
Great casting, and
she played a Vulcan in an earlier episode as well. Yeah.
And by the way, she was an LGBTQ actress that they cast in a part that they never mentioned any of that. And Kalar was a badass, and she suffered a horrible fate. She was murdered. But you look at that, far more nuanced, that character, than anything. And Susie Flaxman, what an incredible actress she is. And we've already seen this. And the thing is, if they ever actually watched old Star Trek, which clearly many people have not, that have.
And Robert, look at the relationship between Alexander and Worf. Then that is a very complex relationship that happened there, and so you can't imagine in any like the beginning of this episode was about family and how he was struggling to communicate with his family. Should have been the through arc all the way through that episode, not resolved, because things like that don't get resolved in an episode at all.
Right.
But it's about us beginning to understand the character and the character beginning to get character. And it's just undercut immediately from the
100%, man. And why isn't this understood by writers who are getting paid a lot of money?
A lot of money, who could take the time.
Because if you shenana once,
you can shenanigan again.
You will shenanigan.
Because they've gotten away with it, Robert. They've been protected. We know the show was never really charted. The only two Strange New Worlds charted, pretty low, but it charted. And Picard Season 3 charted. And that's on the Nielsen, which is just a bunch of gobbledygook. It's minutes watch, so we don't know actual views. Right. And I think anecdotally, we proved how few people are interested in Kurtzman Trek when they decided to put the first episode on live, premiere it live with an open.
That was, wow.
That was, I when I saw that, I'm like, oh. Oh, this is it. And I almost wonder if Ellison's like, this is a humiliation ritual. We're going to make you do this. And we want the comments open. We want the chat open. And half the chat was roasting it. It hit 1,300 viewers, and it was promoted. That's how I figured. I knew about it through all the Trek websites that knew about it and were posting about it a day before. So it had plenty of promotion. Now, it didn't have any for Paramount. To this day, Paramount Plus hasn't posted a single thing about Starfleet Academy on it. Now, granted, all they put is UFC stuff, but they have a Star Trek on Paramount Plus account.
Oh, I've been banned from that.
I'm blocked.
I was blocked from that long ago.
And they haven't posted on that for a year.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And this year, 2026, doesn't only mark the 250th anniversary of America. It is the 60th anniversary of Star Trek, and the 95th birthday, March 22nd, is William Shatner's 95th birthday.
Wow.
And, you think about a venerable franchise. Why has it lasted 60 years? Because it's always been aspirational. It's always been about the fact that you could have opposing points of view and people could still talk it out. There's a great episode called The Private Little War, which is a Vietnam allegory from the second season, where McCoy and Kirk are at each other's throats, debating political philosophy and theory. The Klingons have been arming the village people, and the poor hill people are getting trounced, and Kirk wants to arm them so they can reach parity. And McCoy's like, you can't do that. You're condemning these people to decades of warfare, and these are best friends. And they are at diametrically opposed opposite ends of a spectrum, and they can argue and still love each other.
And now they're just on the spectrum.
Yes. And the idea now is there is no debate. One side, we're so polarized. What Starfleet Academy should have been is a show about mature adults can have disagreement. We can be diametrically opposed. But you know what? We both love apple pie. So let's sit down and enjoy the same thing that we love, which is apple pie, and let's talk about it. That's what Star Trek was all about. It was about intellectual exploration. There were never villains on Star Trek. There were only antagonists.
Yes.
And that was the whole thing. And even in Balance of Terror, the first season of Star Trek, these villainous, sneaky fuckers came over and destroyed Federation outposts, killed people. But at the end of that episode, the Romulan commander, the villain, which, by the way, they completely ripped off this episode in Strange New Worlds and destroyed it, says, in another reality, I could have called you friend, because there was that mutual respect. You could build on that. This is completely gone from our modern Star Trek. There is no maturity. There is no adulthood in any of this. It is all puerile.
Yes.
And no one is aspiring to do anything. These writers are fucking infants. Pardon my French.
Yeah. It's true. You're just waiting for people to make out. Basically.
There's no sophistication in modern Star Trek.
None. Zero. And that, my friends, is the real crime, because they are underserving their audience. Whether they want a younger audience to accept Star Trek or they want to appeal to old fans, what they are not doing is giving us something that is worthy of our attention. And that in itself is their great failing, because they themselves aren't good enough and smart enough to give us that kind of entertainment. And they're getting millions and millions of dollars to do it. And I would say any other business would never hire these people. And we have to watch it year after year. I mean, we don't have to, but I'm compelled to.
We have to.
And I'm more than happy to laugh at them. It's an affront to everybody who's a Star Trek fan. And I've been dealing with it since 2017. And I keep waiting. I go in every time. I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt. But you know what?
Bless you, Rob.
They have let me down, because they are less intelligent than their own audience. And they don't know it.
And they have no idea. As you say, Robert, it is a crime against imagination, what they have done.
Yes, it is.
To Star Trek and so many other things.
And against thought and rationality.
Yes, and common sense.
And storytelling.
And storytelling, which is how we define ourselves.
So I have a question.
Because was it I mean, Gary and Drinker were attacked. It's very difficult when nobody reads the Mary Sue, but they were attacked by the Mary Sue. And one of the things that the fucking Egypt said in the article was
Egypt.
The OG Star Trek, it always leaned on diversity. Kirk kissed Uhura, blah blah. And the idiocy of that is the fact that Uhura, black female, civil rights movement. Chekhov, Russian, Cold War. Sulu, Japanese, World War II adversary. This wasn't about diversity. This was about the growth of humanity.
Yes, 100, dude. That's why I love you, man. Exactly.
Yes.
And they don't see that. They see the superficial, because they are superficial, because there's no depth to their brain. There's no IQ to their thinking. They're low IQ people. So they don't see what was actually truly being told. And that's why you get the brilliance, the brilliant conversation between Uhura and Lincoln, where
in the Savage Curtain.
And he calls her a charming negress, and then he realizes that he may have offended her. He said, "Oh, have I offended her?" The way she shrugs it off is is how perfect it is, because dude, you talk
in
about
our
stuff from
time,
hundreds of
we
years
were
ago.
not to fear words.
Exactly. And now what? What do we get?
Censorship.
Censorship. The one thing that the very people who claim to champion today's Star Trek, the one thing they fear the most are the words that are coming from other people's mouths.
Yep. And Nichelle Nichols said it, and it was Lincoln who freed the slaves, talking to Uhura. I mean, that episode's not great. I'm going to say it right now, even though there's a lot of Star Trek lore laid in that episode, like Kalis, the leader of the Klingon people, and Surak, who made the Vulcans adapt logic. But that is an amazing, if you think about that, Star Trek was banned in states in the South.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there were certain episodes they wouldn't air, and they did it anyway. And, it wasn't because they were trying to make a point. They were trying to extrapolate where they hoped humanity would be in the 23rd century.
Yes.
They didn't know. And they weren't looking for brownie points. They weren't looking for street cred or social media credibility. They were just trying to extrapolate what they actually hoped mankind, where we would be. And that was the whole thing. It was supposed to be, I look at Starfleet Academy, I don't want to be those people in 1,000 years.
No.
I don't want humanity to be anywhere near that fucking school, because that is an amazing letdown of what humanity and where we should be. That show is an amazing affront to what human ingenuity.
The reality is that's where we are now, Robert. It's a reflection of where we are now.
Exactly.
Starfleet Academy is.
But when we're watching Discovery from the start, we suddenly, there was a point where we're just like, wait a minute. Oh, they're being really clever here. We're in the mirror unit. We're in the mirror universe here. And then we're going to be going into the Star Trek universe, and it's going to show what the dystopian future of the current day dystopian future is in Star Trek. No, that was ours. And when it's just like that's what lost so many people.
It's opposing sort of priorities. So in the original Star Trek, they chose from the top down. It was the best people. It was only elite that got in. Whereas now it's like, by no one's definition is the Klingon. He's not the best Klingon by the Klingon's definition or anything else. They found the most pathetic Klingon and thought that they could lift him up to the level of a Starfleet officer. And they've done it with all of them. They've got the worst hologram and thought they could raise them up and train them.
It's Starfleet Special Needs Program.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it's just what DEI is. It doesn't take the best people. It takes other people and thinks, well, we can put them in positions. And because everyone's the same, they'll just naturally fill out the capabilities of other people. Yeah. So they created their own competency crisis within Starfleet to protect Earth.
They should have. Why isn't the coolest Klingon character we've ever seen captain or of the War College? Why isn't there an honor tract at Starfleet Academy, where honor, where you apply it to all aspects of your life, taught by the most badass warrior ever that we've ever seen? And it's a Star Trek show, so why do you hybridize characters? Why can't you give us a great Klingon, a great. By the way, why isn't a Romulan teaching at Starfleet Academy? Why aren't they teaching stealth and subterfuge,
strategy and tactics? So
yeah, strategy and tactics. Why isn't there Vulcan? You know, the Professor Kingsfield Vulcan professor.
And the reality is, as awful as this would be if they did it, because of the technology they have, like. They should 100% be getting like guest lectures by Kirk and Picard and by all these people in history, like appearing as holograms or whatever.
They put them on the wall for sure.
Yeah, they put them on the wall. Like 1,000%, that should be happening at something like Starfleet, especially when you're restarting Starfleet. Like when you're restarting this academy and you're trying to instill that, bring in all these people from history. Obviously, when we're talking about the show, there's like other problems about like the idea of doing something like that.
Well, Robert, you brought this up. The idea of going so far ahead. So they're 800 years past Kirk in this, and it creates a lot of problems because they would basically be gods, technological, despite the burn. The burn was 100 years. So,
and they were the Federation. There were other people that had different ways of traveling.
Yes,
faster.
they did.
They forgot about
that
those.
idea.
Yeah.
Was so
they
stupid.
forgot about
I
that.
can't even believe
The Romulans being one of them.
Yeah,
they would control the universe. They would not have mind going around conquering everybody. But you know why they did that?
Romulus got blew up, though. Remember? So
There was a Variety article a long time ago that did deep dive in all the different Star Treks and everything. And it said they went so far into the future so that they could go, we would write something down and we go, and now that's canon. And that was they wanted power over the canon and control it. They could write whatever they wanted.
That's why they chose a prequel, and that's why they tried to force a female older sister on Spock, who literally guides him to being Spock, who makes him Spock.
It's the man he is today.
Oh.
Some would say you made him the man he is today. Some would say go fuck yourself in the ass.
That's right. Well, a lot in the show, actually.
Wow, sorry. But Robert, he's gone now. Because he was talking about, why didn't you put the biggest badass Klingon in charge of the
racism
war
would have been the correct
answer. But if you do that right, then you can actually have a foil for a character like Jaden.
There would be massive amounts of racism on this planet because 2 years ago they were like an ethno planet, so they all would have that would still be hanging around. They'd still be in the war college. That's why an Earth person would be in charge of it. But he's not looking down on these other people. There's no kind of combative thing about that at all. Just all vanished in 2 years.
The isolationist Earth that from 2 years previous, when Stacey Abrams was Planet Earth. And
that had its own defense system all around it to keep people out, just like the Beta Z had.
Yeah, based, by the way.
Yeah. Well, it turns out it was needed. Everyone else was trying to kill them. So
when Stacey Abrams is running it, I'm not fucking surprised.
So real quick, what happens in the episode is they have a prank from the War College who is led by a dude who's just there to be emasculated, like for the entire series. And
I mean, he drinks tea, so that's pretty fucking gay.
Agreed, Ryan. Agreed.
Wait, hold on.
It was an allegory about being civilized and controlled and having to do everything in the correct order. It was quite a military lecture he was giving her, and then when she flops over and he just goes,
the prank was
having discipline, which she ain't fucking got.
So the prank was they beamed everybody like half naked in various parts of the ship. I guess there's no inhibitors anywhere. I guess it's not regulated. Yes, they kind of hacked into it, whatever. And the response prank was to take a fungus that's basically an empathy plant. It's an empathy plant because it just
which served no purpose.
The empathy didn't. Yeah, there was no empathy. It just
not like they recorded them.
It repeated back what you just said. So somehow that is empathy in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Hey, parrots are empathetic.
Yes. So
you can teach them how to say slurs, which I think is
exactly. Cool. So by that logic, Ryan, yes, parrots are empathy birds, even if they're telling you to fuck off.
As well.
So their big plan at the end was take this fungus that grows like uncontrollably, and it starts slamming bodies against the window, and they're like just laughing about it. I'm like,
it threw a table. I don't even know how it threw a table.
Yeah, it was like actually dangerous compared to the other one. And Holly Hunter comes out and goes, wow, We showed you guys.
And she kept saying it, and it sounded like she was saying fetus every time. And I was like, the fetus? What?
Yeah.
Well, you think you could defeat us, but looks like we got the better of you, didn't we? This time?
Oh my God! For some reason, that was endangered. A plant that grows that aggressively is endangered. Okay, and you can't remove it because
you have to see the shot. But the shot of all of them, especially with the Klingons sitting like cross-legged like a girl, that whole pan shot that also made it in the trailer, and they're all pointing at stuff and laughing, and it looks like a like a fucking drug commercial. It looks like a Pfizer commercial. It's so bad. Everything like. The directing's bad. The editing is bad. The writing is bad. The incidental music in this was fucking horrible. We had like, what did somebody say? It's like if Daft Punk had a stroke, that's what the music was. And it was everything about us. But they have earbuds. One dude has earbuds in. It's like, why would
you know they're futuristic earbuds because they've got LEDs on them.
They have LEDs on them.
They're space earbuds now.
But the sound bleeding was terrible. I mean, you could hear everything that was going on.
Oh, and the ADR is bad. Like, especially when Jay Den is talking. If you pay attention to that, it's really bad. And a lot of it is ADR.
It's probably because they have to modulate his voice in some way because, like, you hear him speak. He sounds like a super gay dude. like if you hear like the actor speak, he's a super gay dude. So I do think they're using maybe potentially some sort of voice modulation, which is why all of his shit seems ADR.
He said 2 days before this, or a week before they started filming, Kurtzman phoned him and went, "We're going to have to drop your voice several octaves." Yeah. So
there you go.
Hey,
they sent him to a voice coach, but yeah, I don't know whether they modified it afterwards.
Did Michael?
He said he thought he was going to rock up on set with his own voice.
He did. That's what he said. Yeah.
Like, hi guys, I like
watching birds.
I like birds. It's like, no, you don't.
Robert, I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Ellison, has it's bad enough that Skydance, a production company, and I know like you have nice things to say about Ellison as a production company. It's not bad. Skydance has done some good stuff. It's also done
but they made three horrible Star Trek films that bastardized the entire franchise.
Horrible Star Trek movies. So he is in charge now. Why hasn't he just canceled this?
Well, I would say that there are obviously Secret Hideout. They've got great contracts.
Yes.
And I would say their contracts, surprisingly enough, go all the way back to, and I don't know this for a fact because I haven't seen the contracts, but when you write a film, when you write something like Star Trek, one of the things that they hope to do, that Bad Robot, J.J. Abrams' company hoped to do when they took over the Star Trek franchise in 2009, was to take over the franchise. They even made an attempt to get rid of all other merchandising aside from their own stuff, which is interesting because they tried to pull the same shenanigans over at Disney with Star Wars. That's why C-3PO has a red arm, the Millennium Falcon. And which, by the way, the Millennium Falcon has a rectangular dish. Yeah, Shanana Wand.
You kind of Shanan me again.
Yeah, and it doesn't work that way because it's all business. Everyone's trying to make money, and I can respect that. But when you come in and you become the steward of a franchise, the idea should be to be a steward of the franchise. And I look back, you know who I think did a terrific job with an IP? Ryan Coogler. Ryan Coogler came in as, from what I understand, his mother was very sick, and him and his father bonded over watching Rocky movies. They love Rocky movies. And he came up with the idea of Creed, of creating the character Adonis Creed, and he goes to Sylvester Stallone. I don't know how he did it, but mad respect, and he convinced Stallone to make Creed, to be the second fiddle of his own franchise. And so Ryan Coogler makes Creed and got Sylvester Stallone an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor for the 7th Rocky movie. Because he loved that franchise. He loved that IP. What I don't understand is you heard J.J. Abrams talk about how he never liked Star Trek.
Yep, over and over again.
It was too intellectual. Every single interview, he would tell you, I never liked the show. And yet they made him the steward of Star Trek. And the thing is, those movies actually never made very much money. People are, well, Rob, that first movie it cost enormous amounts of money. Into Darkness made less. It made like $500 million, but it cost with marketing over $300 million. That's not a profitable film. What I want is somebody to come in that loves, and I'm not saying everybody who loves things are the best people to make it, but when you look at someone like a Ryan Coogler, he didn't go spend hundreds of millions of dollars to make Creed. It was a very limited budget. He had a story. He went and made it. That was an IP. That was a guy who loved the IP that came off as he could have made anything. He used his indie street cred for Fruitvale Station to make an IP movie that he went and generated himself because he loved it. I want to see somebody do that with Star Trek. By the way, I don't think that totally answered your question, though.
No. So I know there's contracts and there's political capital, and you don't want to piss people off, and
they might not be able to get rid of them. I think they had to finish shooting Strange New Worlds season 5 by the end of the year, and I think Starfleet Academy. So there's nothing more to shoot because they fulfilled that. But now they have the guys who worked on Dungeons and Dragons, which I kind of like that movie, but I don't think that they understand what Star Trek is. And when you look at people like Ron Moore doing Battlestar Galactica and For All Mankind, or you look at a show like Pluribus, whether you like it or not, there's a lot of great thought behind it. And Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul are two of the great TV shows of the 21st century. And when you have that team, when you have Vince Gilligan writing, I would love to see that happen. But I think they have to let those contracts end because they're pretty ironclad, and they go all the way back. Alex Kurtzman co-wrote Star Trek 09. And I bet in that contract, that was why he was able to insinuate himself into Brian Fuller's version of Discovery.
That's why he and Jar Jar don't get along anymore. They're not pals at all.
No.
And I think that's the answer. I still think if there's a will, there's a way. You buy somebody out, and because every second of Kurtzman Trek that's made, like, just solidifies that it will never come back. I don't know how you bring this back, and you have to stop making Star Trek Harry Potter Star Trek or Marvel Star Trek or Star Wars Star Trek. You got to make it Star Trek.
You have to restore it, but I don't think. Here's my problem. I heard this. It totally makes sense. When The Simpsons came out, it was groundbreaking, and what Matt Groening and his team did was they were using that show to reflect on society, and now they're still involved. But I've heard somebody said to me, or I heard this. Somebody said, the people that write The Simpsons today are the people that grew up watching The Simpsons. And at the end of the day, what we really need is we need smart, educated, great writers and a great showrunner that Hollywood would accept or give the money to reinvent Star Trek and aspire to make it aspirational again. If there's ever a time, we live in a time where what Star Trek could do and what Twilight Zone could do, you could take a political divide, the right and the left, and you can tell them, as said, a morality tale. And if you do it well, that's a way to bring people together. That's a way to take a divided world and show them a human story that is truthful. And you can get people to come together.
Don't die on us.
I know, behind that story.
At least finish the sentence.
No,
but behind that story. That's what Star Trek and the Twilight Zone did.
Well,
Rod Serling would tell these stories that they weren't political according to the network, but he would get away with it because
it was allegorical.
Twilight Zone.
Yes.
Same
they
with
could have turned. They could have turned it around if they just let Terry Matalas continue on after Picard season 3, but then they decided to say, "Screw that! Let's get Starfleet Academy instead." It's like
they intentionally froze him out.
They did. They did. They made him a very passive offer to do it for like basically no money in Europe, and it was an offer made to be turned down, basically.
By the way,
there's a great interview with Kurtzman where one of the people actually asks him, "Is there any chance of that coming back?" And he goes, his words are, "Well, maybe, never say never, anything's possible." But his head is going, "Well, maybe, when there's always a possibility, it can always happen in the future." Yeah. Betrayed by body language.
We've got something that I think, how do I put this? It's worth looking forward to, that Terry Matalas has his 8-episode series about the Vision Quest coming out in toward the end of the year. And somebody that has worked on Deep Space Nine and who did the 12 Monkeys TV series and what he did with Data. If I were to make a bet, and I would call it an educated bet, I would say that the 8 episodes of Terry Matalas's Vision Quest are very much worth everybody's time. That's it.
We'll find out.
We will find out. I'll put in the private chat something. That's all I'm going to say about that. So,
well, I would say great science fiction that's contemplative of what it means to have artificial life, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, which is what sci-fi does best.
Kind of a thoughtful thing, and I need to shut up. So, but we could definitely talk about spoilers about something else. I have to tell a quick story. So while I was quickly running to get that Prisoner comic book,
is that new, dude?
No, it's been around for a while. Like,
I gotta get that.
You gotta, it's
the artist edition.
It's the artist edition, Jack Kirby, Gil Kane, Prisoner. I don't want to run over and get it because there's a life-size Superman right next to me. So when I ran over to get it, it's got a base on it. And I fucking just stubbed the shit out of my toe, lost my nail. And
wait, no, you didn't lose your nail, did you?
It's gone.
Which toe?
On my little toe.
Oh, okay.
It's all right. It's no big deal. But yeah, the show must go on. I was sitting there bleeding. The whole thing.
the dangers of being a streamer. Oh my god.
Okay, your story's at least better than mine.
Hurts like hell, but we're gonna keep going.
Yeah, it fucking does.
Damn it. Robert, I'm just gonna say, don't get yourself in any trouble. I am free of the shackles of getting trouble. Plus, I've already said this stuff on multiple streams. So, and I am not claiming at all that I am the first person to say this stuff or anything, because I don't go to Reddit every day because it's retarded. It's
you're saying you don't go to Reddit and 4chan to get the leaks you give away, Gary? That's strange.
I do not. Yeah. Actually, I got a phone call after Friday Night Tights last week. So, I guess we still put the spoilers thing up if you want.
Sure.
X-Ray Girl, because we wouldn't want to spoil. We don't want to spoil Doomsday for anybody. So in the beginning of Doomsday, unless you want to plug your ears, Robert. Oh, you probably already know this though.
People keep asking me things.
So I was told initially, Robert, that no Spider-Man were going to be in this. I was told that Kevin Feige didn't want to deal with Sony, blah, blah, blah. But that was early days, right?
That makes sense.
Yeah. Well, it turns out Toby's in it. Toby's in it. Alfred Molina's in it. Yeah, Toby's in it, Robert. And Sam Raimi's Spider-Man world gets destroyed somewhere in the beginning of the movie.
Of course.
I think if you read the comics, all the worlds get destroyed. So, and this is because incursions and all that other stuff. But yeah, that's what I was told, that Tobey Maguire and they're swinging. I was told they're swinging for the fences on this one. They want to show there's real stakes.
Yeah, I saw you guys say that. Yeah.
So that's what they really want to kind of put off, that Doom is formidable. And yes, they have to make up for a lot because they haven't really introduced him at all. We had, phases to get to know Thanos a little bit. We don't know anything about Doom. And some of the plot elements of this kind of feel like, my son pointed this out when I brought it up to him, feel like what Kang did in Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes. because his world got destroyed by Captain America coming to the 21st century, and he's hunting down Captain America. Something very similar happens in this movie. But yeah, they decide to start it out by doing something shocking and having not just like Tobey Maguire and Dr. Octopus in that world die. It's basically destroyed by the X-Men. So,
are they intentionally trying to do that, or are they just fighting something and it ends up
that part I don't know. It might be like it's kind of every world for itself, basically, is the idea I'm getting. I don't have every plot detail. I was told like certain things, right? I don't know the context for everything, and I don't care. So, and if I get something wrong, I don't care. I was just told this and I'm talking about it, but I just like, that is a risk. Now, of course, they're going to probably bring him back, right? But you're taking one of the most beloved things that Marvel has ever done, the most popular Spider-Man by far, the one that basically got you a lot of money at the box office when they brought him back in No Way Home, and you're offing him right away.
It's not just that either, because now you've made the X-Men killers of an entire universe. So by anyone's definition, they're evil. It's like you'd really have to set that up as they were misled, or because you can't just have them saving their own, because they're still wiping out a different universe, you know. So they can't have the blood on their hands essentially and still be heroes.
Because that's like X-Men would fight to save another universe, not try and destroy it just to save their own. And so
we don't know the context.
Yeah, we don't know the context because it might.
Well, you've got to be very careful about the context, is what I'm.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure they're going to try to stop the incursions, and they can't. And there's a reason they can't. And there might be somebody with nefarious motives, let's just say, named, it rhymes with Dr. Foom. And yeah, so that's what's supposedly, and listen, by the time this movie comes out, guys, you can take that the spoilers thing. You're going to know every bit about the plot. The plot is out there. It's already out there. Now, could it change with reshoots and stuff like that? I'm sure it will. I am shocked.
Yeah, like all the people who are like, Doomsday is 3 hours and 45 minutes long, and it's like, motherfuckers, they just filmed this. They're still gonna have to do a bunch of reshoots. They are nowhere close to having any idea what the final runtime's actually going to be.
No, there was a bullshit website that referenced an account that had like 20 followers, so to give them plausible deniability, and then botted their own post to get millions of views, and they were called out immediately. The account, which initially put out 3 hours 45 minutes, deleted their account. It was just all of it was a lot of bollocks.
Really? That's crazy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked if it's 3 hours long.
Yeah.
Because
no, 3 hours.
I would be shocked.
They have done no lead up to this. They changed gears. They got rid of Kang. They brought in Doom last second, a couple weeks before Comic-Con, and made the agreement and like to bring all it. Like, they have done no build up. And the 3 movies that they just released last year all lost money at the box office. There is no interest. They are only relying on pure nostalgia for these characters that they're bringing back, and for the face of Iron Man, who is not playing Iron Man.
Directed by the Russo brothers, who have done some great things in the past with Marvel.
They got some big award nominations this year.
But they got an award nomination this year, too. A Razzie.
Yeah. They also made Electric State. So,
yes.
That's what it's for.
That's what it's for.
Oh, there we go.
Robert.
Yes.
Do you think this thing hits its release date?
Oh, yeah.
Do you think they stay on that date with Dune?
I do. I think one of the great marketing decisions, I mean, it's so funny when Robert Downey Jr. came up and said, we've been talking about Doomsday, you know, we've had Boss Logic making Doomsday posters. I think it's a great idea. Look, here's the thing. I have to say I'm a huge MCU fan. I've been very disappointed by phases 4, 5, and 6, and what they did to Moon Knight is almost unforgivable.
That is unforgivable.
And there's been a few things I've liked, but how can I put this without getting myself in trouble?
Don't get yourself
in trouble. I do
it. No, I don't. I think.
Don't listen to them.
I think what they've done, what the MCU has done with Doomsday, is they're going all in. It's like Casino Royale. You know, it's James Bond got refinanced by the Americans. Jeffrey Wright came in and said, "Hey, you've run out of British money.
Gliders, like, here, take my money. I know you can win.
Yeah,
we're gonna go in. Take my money, and you're gonna win." I think, and I could say that I have a learned opinion about this.
Okay.
I think that what they've done or what they're doing with Avengers Doomsday is extraordinary. And I would say that if nothing else, it's going to be something. By the way, you can, in the 4 teasers they've released, look at the tone of those teasers. And the one thing that about all 4 Russo brothers Avengers movies and Captain America movies is they were able to create a balance of. I went back and watched Civil War 2 weeks ago, and I was really surprised at how great the action is in that movie and how they deftly. There's a lot going on in that film. There's an incredible amount of characters and things and happening, and they do the same thing. They did the same thing with Infinity War and Endgame. And there's something about the heady concoction of the Russo brothers and Marvel. And I know, look, we can talk all. Thor: Love and Thunder and Quantumania are unforgivable, god-awful. I don't even know why they exist. And as a Marvel Cinematic Universe fan, I loved the Infinity Saga, even when it dipped. But those 2 films, in my mind, destroyed verisimilitude. They're horrible, just horrible, horrible films. If you look at the Thor sequence in the trailer they released, and you compare and contrast it to the Thor and the whole storyline that we saw in Love and Thunder, they're diametrically opposed. Even though the character of Thor's child of love is created in Love and Thunder. But if you look at the way that scene is shot and the way he's speaking, coming off of Love and Thunder, I would say that in itself can show you how they've turned things around and what they know they have to do. Otherwise, the MCU's done. It's cooked.
Yeah.
I mean, it's finished. The most lucrative franchise in the world. And all I can say is, I wish I could say more. And I wish I could say why, because no one's going to give me the credibility. But I can say this. In my life, there are few films I have been more excited to see than I am excited to see about Avengers Doomsday. And before people call me a paid shill, it's because I know for a fact why you should be excited for it. But I can't tell you why. Because that would betray certain people. And I can't.
That's
right. So here's my thing with it is that they've got a monumental task on their hands.
Yes.
Right. To like, as opposed to having all this build up for years and years and years to eventually this confrontation and all this stuff. You don't have that. You are starting from scratch, but it's actually worse than starting from scratch. It would be one thing if they could pick up and be like, you know what? We're just going to kind of ignore every other character that's been pushed down everyone's throats in every bad movie but they can't. They're including all these characters. They're including Shuri's Black Panther. They're including Black Captain America. They're including the new Avengers. They have to have them. And I think they're going to have their hands tied with some of them. You can't bring back Steve Rogers and have them be like, look, Captain America's back. No, instead they're going to have to say, no, Captain America's still black. Don't worry. I'm just Steve Rogers. He's the real Captain America. Right? I think that their hands are going to be tied by some of those things. And I also think that if they spent $500 million a piece, which is what the tax documents show on Endgame and Infinity War, between the massive cast, between what they're having to shoot, between just the inflation of how much it costs to make a fucking movie nowadays, I don't think it's unrealistic for this movie to cost $750 million, genuinely.
I'm in complete agreement with you.
Yeah. And so
I don't know how much I said to somebody, I said, I would pay good money to sit down with the budget of Avengers Doomsday for an hour. I just want to read
see
that
where it's
budget.
broken down.
I think
line items.
History,
how much on Downey Land?
I mean, I want to see the budget of that movie, and not just because of the cast, but I will say this: there is shit that's coming in this movie where I strain to comprehend how they're going to do it and what does it look like.
Yeah.
CGI and garbage mostly.
No. You guys, I'm just telling you.
Yeah,
don't believe. You don't have to believe me.
I believe you, Robert.
Tell us in the chat.
I believe wholeheartedly that they are all in, that this is do or die. I also believe that if this movie just breaks even, or maybe even loses a little money, but generates enough excitement for people to see the future of the MCU, they'll consider that a win, because that's not something they have right now is any excitement. I just, like, when I look at the Russo brothers, look, I think it's so funny because I think that Infinity War is maybe one of the most incredible achievements in the superhero universe we've ever seen.
I totally agree.
The characters as they deal with, and as well as they juggle it. And at this point, I would have been fine if the MCU had ended there. I think Endgame is a below average movie that has massive negative ramifications for the entire MCU that maybe they didn't think all the way through before they actually put that on paper. And so, like, I have one that I view nearly as a masterpiece almost with Infinity War, with the challenge that they had. And then I see Endgame as a below average movie that maybe in the moment we got some nostalgia hits and stuff. I think that Doomsday is going to be loaded with incredible nostalgia, amazing set pieces, a visual, like, holy fuck, I can't believe they did that. But it's hard to convince me that the thing's going to be well written at all, because I think they were writing it as they went along because of the desperate mode that they were in. So I think it's going to be a movie that pulls on everybody's heartstrings and gets a lot of attention, but is probably going to be a huge pile of shit, but make you go, oh, holy fuck. You know? I know I'm putting you in a spot.
Come on, Robert!
Don't get yourself in trouble.
I would have to reply to that.
I would just say what's okay. I've heard a lot of things about nostalgia. Look, I've been a lifelong comic book reader, and one of my favorite things in my lifetime as a comic book reader was DC Comics' Crisis on Infinite Earths in the mid '80s. I've told this story before. I was dating. I'm still friends with her, a very attractive girl. And one night I had gone to my comic book store and I had Crisis on Infinite Earths issue 7, which was the death of Supergirl. And I'd gone to my comic book store and I went to her house and we had a date. And I walked up to her front door and I said, listen, I need 30 minutes before we go out. I have to read this comic book.
That's a test too.
This is a true story. I said I gotta read this comic book. I'm like, because if I don't, all I'm going to be thinking about is what happens in this comic book.
Oh my god!
It was, and you know what? To be fair, she was so great, and we're still friends to this day. She's one of my favorite people in the whole world. She said, "You go read it," and I did.
And then she closed the door.
And I'm gonna get on Tinder. No,
she let me read it. Right. Thank God it didn't exist, because I wouldn't have had her after that.
I'm gonna go.
But it was a big deal. I would say what I know about this movie is akin to that moment. If I had anything to do, a family event or anything, I would tell people, I'm like, look, I need to see this movie.
Yeah.
First, I need to go. And I need to go and see Avengers Doomsday, because if I can't see it,
but it's our anniversary.
Does not matter. And the thing is, I wouldn't even want to take Elizabeth to see it, because she wouldn't love it as much as I did. So I can't. I'm just saying that everything you've said, by the way, Ryan, is true. And I'm, you know, a lot of people didn't like me being. I love what they did with the characters in Picard season 3. I think what Marvel has done with this and the storyline that they've come up with and all that stuff, you can look to those the 4 things that they've released, the tone of those and the feel of those, and also the end of Thunderbolts. That sequence is a truncated sequence that's actually in Doomsday.
Right. You're talking about the post-credit scene in which they're looking around and the Fantastic Four
They
ship.
didn't just direct that scene to put in the movie. That is from Avengers Doomsday.
Correct. The Russo brothers directed that scene.
Yes, they did.
It's a much longer sequence. And I want to point something out too. This is, I think, important to understand. Dr. Doom, we saw that there's a Latverian ambassador in Fantastic Four. Dr. Doom is from the Fantastic Four Earth. Just like you would think he would be.
Okay.
And I think that to understand that sequence, and I will say this, the Fantastic Four and Dr. Doom are friends. They know each other.
Mm-hmm.
And they are people that are, and it is not that Dr. Doom he uses, because he's a technologist and a sorcerer, and he frequently has popped into the Fantastic Four's apartment. So it's not unusual for him to be there talking to Franklin Richards or hanging out with the Fantastic Four.
Fair enough.
My problem is with Doomsday, Robert. My problem with Doomsday isn't the immediacy. So it's not the immediacy of seeing the film. It's not the follow-up to the film. My problem is what happens after. Because my problem is if we're left with, after all that's said and done, a soft reboot, and we're left with Shuri and Chang-Chi and America Chavez and all of these god-awful fucking characters, Yelena, the people from Thunderbolts that nobody fucking likes, the movies have lost money. If we are left with those characters, I couldn't care what happens in Doomsday and Secret War. Because it would be irrelevant. It would be a distraction for the immediacy, because the future is still embedded in these awful characters that nobody could possibly like.
But Gary, you can speak to this. I mean, okay, they're going into Secret Wars.
Yes.
And having just read both the Secret Wars Omnibus and the Secret Wars Battle World Omnibus, they basically have it's not a soft reboot. It's a hard reboot. The end of Secret Wars, the Marvel Universe is completely reset. It is completely reset. By the way, I'm assuming this. I know nothing about Secret Wars. Nothing. The only thing I know about Secret Wars is they might split it into 2 movies. I don't know anything other. I have no idea. I have no idea about what it is. I've just read the comics recently, and it's a complete reboot. So they can recast everybody. They're moving into an X-Men film.
Yes.
So I would imagine that they're going to lean into the X-Men after they go out of Secret Wars. But all I can tell you is that it's going to be, I think what they're going to do is it's going to be very, very satisfying after what you just said, because everything that didn't work is gone.
Yeah, my guess, like if I'm Marvel and I'm sitting here and I need to get out of this problem we've got ourselves into, and trying to think logically, which probably may be retarded considering all the stuff we've seen, but if I'm doing that, I use Secret Wars as an excuse to basically reset everything, like none of the like just one timeline. And I think that you would already have a fully cast X-Men, like the new X-Men, whoever that will be, including probably Sadie Sink, right? A fully cast new X-Men group that appears in Secret Wars to help this thing. And they are your first thing outside of this. And everybody else goes away in some form or fashion. Hopefully it's in a rewarding way. And then we've got a new Captain America. We've got a new Iron Man within the next 3 or 4 years after that. We reform the Avengers 5 years after Secret Wars. Like, this is your opportunity to do that and hard reset.
That's a monumental task.
Yes.
Because of the damage that has clearly been done that's led up to this. I have no doubt, based on people I've talked to, that Marvel wants to change. I have doubts about whether they can. You can have all the desire you want. And even if everything completely works, they're never going to reach the heights of Infinity War and Endgame.
Yeah.
They're just not. You'll get a percentage back, but I don't think you reach those heights again, because
the other issue too is the brand damage, and a lot of people just don't fucking care. I don't give a shit about Marvel anymore at this point.
Yes, that's, but so they're doing stuff in this movie that like a couple of things that I've heard, Robert, it's frustrating because why couldn't you have done this before? You have had 3 phases to do some of the shit they're pulling out in this movie. And I'll equate it to, you finally put Wolverine's fucking mask on in Deadpool and Wolverine. Was it a creative decision to do that, or was it an act of desperation? I think it was a little of both. A lot of desperation involved in that. That has motivated them to get back to their roots in comic books. The fact of the matter is, they've always should have not killed off Steve Rogers. You recast him, and you know.
Well, remember they didn't. They didn't. One of the interesting things about, like, there's a Colton did a great video on Screen Crush about a speculative video that I watched before they showed. Like, I did not know whether Steve Rogers was going to come back in this movie. Colton did a speculative video that I thought was really interesting. I'm like, wouldn't that be great? Because one of the things that always bothered me about Endgame is when Steve Rogers leaves to return the Infinity Stones, he does not take the shield with him. And when he comes back as Old Man Steve, he has a shield to give to Sam Wilson. So the question I was always like, well, where'd that shield come from? And when he's asked, are you going to tell me about the life you led? And he goes, no, I don't think I will. So they've set up in Endgame. And by the way, Avengers Doomsday is a direct sequel to Endgame. It's a direct sequel. Yes. So, and we saw that Steve Rogers goes back in time. We've seen the house, he pulls up and he has a child, so that's, but was that supposed to happen? Was Steve Rogers supposed to?
But if you're plowing Haley Atwell all day, every day, it's probably
we understand.
In the universe, I would just say that, and if you know things that if you extrapolate upon what we saw in the Loki TV shows and all that, and the TVA, Captain America going back in his own timeline when he was supposed to be frozen and having a kid, maybe someone might take notice of that and not dig it for whatever reason.
Yep. Because
which would be canonical to what they established already. And
isn't the problem with that though that Loki? Well, the end of Loki was supposed to stop that. He was supposed to allow all of the timelines and stuff by holding them together.
Yep.
Otherwise, he's just sacrificed himself for no reason.
Wait a minute. Holding green spaghetti together.
That's a good point.
Well, he's clearly going to have to get rid of those.
I think Loki's going to have a huge role to play in.
I would say exactly what you just said. Yes, Loki would, wouldn't he?
That would be logical.
Mm-hmm. Unlike Starfleet Academy.
I think we're looking at something I think we're looking at something like if Tobey Maguire's world gets destroyed and we have the implication that Tobey Maguire is dead. That I think that there maybe, whether it's at the end of Secret Wars or somewhere in there, you see him actually like turn up and like Loki's on the throne of whatever, and like Loki's saved him for a reason. I think Loki's going to be highly instrumental in like defeating Doom and by saving certain key characters and stuff like that throughout all this. That's just like a guess I have, not anything like literally. I'm just spouting off ideas that they could use that I think would make sense. But.
And we have to differentiate the Secret Wars, the original Secret Wars, and then the one in 2016. This
is a Hickman Secret Wars storyline.
Yeah.
This is a 2015, 2016,
which essentially ended the 616.
Yes,
in Marvel Comics. I mean, let's be real.
And that's the thing that people do. I've said to people who've asked me questions, I'm like, they've never adapted anything directly.
No.
But like I did think that they really incorporated the Winter Soldier storyline, Ed Brubaker's his run on Captain America. They truncated it. I would say that if people want to know what's going to happen in Avengers Doomsday, to look at the Secret Wars, that omnibus of both Secret Wars and then Secret Wars Battle World is a great place to go. And if you want a flavor of what you might see. And to understand that they haven't, if you read that, you're going to be like, well, what about Molecule Man is a big MacGuffin in that series, and the Beyonders, which don't exist. So who would be the Molecule Man? If there's no Molecule Man like there is in Secret Wars, who would the Molecule Man be in the movie version?
Captain Marvel.
You know what? I leave that up for you guys
because she was Adam Warlock. Essentially Adam Warlock's role. So
but it's interesting. But I would say this: I am deliriously excited to see Avengers Doomsday. I described it to a friend of mine. I said, I want to buy a 70mm IMAX print of Avengers Doomsday. I want to chop it up into fatty rails, and I want to snort it off Farrah Fawcett from Logan's Run's ass, because that's how good it's going to be.
Jenny Agutter.
You should be working for the marketing department. That should be their marketing.
I'm just telling
from here on out.
It's tough because I look, Robert,
print, by the way.
I believe you're totally genuine, like all the excitement you have and all the stuff you've been hearing and like all of that. My problem is, even if I do think there's some like probably really cool shit and really cool ideas that they put in this, I can plaster together a couple cool like things like that and ideas that almost like cool TikToks or reels or whatever. But what is this entirety of the movie going to look like when it's bogged down by so many other things that they are going to be forced to include? And that's where I have a lot. Like, I can no longer give the benefit of the doubt.
I agree.
I'll give it a chance, just like everything. Even if I think it's going to be shit, I'll give it a chance, and I would love for it to blow my mind. But it's tough for me to give benefit of the doubt based on all the hurdles they have to clear to get what I think is going to be like a rewarding movie.
And on top of that, can
Ryan,
I say
they know. I think they feel the way you feel.
Yeah, I believe it. Yeah, that's why they wanted fucking $60 million and a cut of the box office, right, to even come in and do this thing, because it is a monumental task.
I think they're going to surmount it.
And even on top of that, though, say these movies are phenomenal. I'm not sure that's going to be good enough to win me back after the crap and insult they have done over these past few years, just destroying characters and IP we love. They need to prove themselves more consistently beyond that to win the true fans back. Because let's not forget what Marvel has been doing. Okay, they went fully on board with this woke ideological crap, absolutely destroying legacy characters that we love.
Yeah,
so I have to see.
But I would look. I would say again, look to those 4 trailers showing Cyclops in his Jim Lee California style, X-Men 1 whatever comic book when they created X-Men 1, when he rips off his visor. That's something that is comic book staple.
It's a full optical blast.
It's a full optical blast. They know. And if you look at the tone of Thor, and when M'Baku meets the Thing, and seeing, they're giving us an indication of the kind of movie they're making. They are not making Love and Thunder.
Is it going to be Endgame or Infinity War? That's the big question, because Endgame is all about those key member berry moments, but the rest of the movie is actually terrible. Like the story is terrible.
That's where I'm at, where it's like, because we've had in my mind, look, we've got Winter Soldier, which I think is shot for shot maybe the best thing in the MCU from the Russo brothers. Civil War, overall, I think little bit overhyped. I was a little disappointed in Civil War because it's more like fucking backyard parking lot brawl than Civil War from the comics.
You know what? Yes, but if you go back and you watch it now, like I hadn't watched it in a long time.
Yeah,
I was very surprised at how dense. Like they introduced Spider-Man, they introduced Black Panther, they introduced T'Chaka,
and Black Panther is way better in that. T'Challa is so much better in Civil War than he is in his own fucking movie. It's not even close. Right.
And anything else.
But then Infinity War, I think, is fucking amazing with the level of difficulty compared to what they gave us. But Endgame to me is a massive disappointment. It is full of, if you describe moments to people like Captain America picking up Thor's hammer and fighting Thanos, it's full of like incredible moments and feel good moments. But in totality, I think it leaves a lot to be desired and causes a lot of problems, including the way they treated Thor in that movie.
Well,
so like,
and you don't hear people talking about all the time traveling scenes. Those just get glossed over a lot. Everybody just thinks about the battle.
Remember when the directors and the writers, they didn't agree on what time travel was like in their own universe? I remember that. That was a fun time.
I would say, okay, that aside, the movie is one of the highest grossing. Endgame is one of the highest grossing movies of all time, and I agree with everything. It's got so much more to do than Infinity War. I think is one of the great fantasy films of all time. Even if it was, it's phenomenal, and the way like the Thor rocket scene when they're talking is amazing.
Yeah,
I think that. It's so frustrating.
But there's Robert. There's a huge difference between the run-in to these films. Like Infinity War, we couldn't fucking wait to get into that cinema and see that film.
Yep.
That was a cultural moment. That was a brewing of nearly 10 years of this world coming together. The characters that we love.
Endgame too, though, we couldn't wait to get in the theater.
No, same. No, absolutely the same with Endgame. Absolutely the same with Endgame. The anticipation was there, particularly after you saw Infinity War. You're like, holy shit. The Endgame had the same levels of anticipation. That's why it did absolute baller at the box office. Was it a better story than Infinity War? No. Did it fail in some areas? Absolutely. I find it a very watchable film, though, personally, Endgame. I find it very watchable for all its faults and flaws, to balance so much together. The problem is everyone was dying to go to see them.
Yep.
People aren't dying to go to see this.
No.
Last two movies were flops.
All of that.
Last two movies were made.
But I would say this.
Anticipation, that excitement, they've killed it. So I don't think they can even touch the levels of Infinity War or Endgame, because I don't think they're going to be able, even through word of mouth, to generate those people going, okay, then I'll give it a go. My mate, who's a complete fucking normie, no shit about shit. Yeah. He likes to go to the cinema because he thinks fucking hell, the fucking Godzilla versus Kong is like one of the greatest cinematic moments of all time. That's the sort of level that we're dealing with here, right? Even he was just like, are you going to go see that Captain America thing? I was like, yeah, I got to for a thing. I was like, do you want to come with? It's like, no. He's got no interest whatsoever in seeing any of this.
Is true, but I would point out that the four teasers they've released have got over 1 billion views on YouTube.
Sure,
1 billion views. So I've always said that every franchise is one great movie away from success again. And all I can say about this, and I will put myself out there. I will, if you disagree with me, I'm not going to bet any money on it, but I'll have humility about this.
Dude, this is nerds having fucking nerd. This is what we live for, dude. Yep. This is free and we fucking love it.
From my perspective, what I know about what's happening in Avengers Doomsday, and I can't say, but it's like Patrick Stewart in Extras. You could see everything. I'm just gonna say that
I'd already seen it.
And I will say this: I am deliriously excited to see this movie because it is a wildly ambitious science fiction, fantasy, superhero film that takes everything that you love about the MCU and I mean, I would say this: it's Infinity War times 3, if that makes any sense, because what it has to do, and here's the thing about it, it's not, I can't say it's Return of the King, but in terms of what it's doing,
don't get sacrilegious now.
Yeah,
it's I know, but what they have done is the best possible version of, in my mind, and as a lifelong comic book fan and all that, I think it is something. There's a reason why a year in advance they started dropping these trailers, and think because they know. I think they know they have the right approach.
Well, then don't have things say a fucking retarded line back to back.
That was the worst. Yeah. That was the worst teaser, and it was like an entirely different tone. Because I really liked the first 3 teasers, and I didn't expect to. I do think there's a difference between just saying words like honor, duty, war, when you die, standing your feet, all that kind of stuff, and putting it in a movie.
I mean, it's like New York. What do I know?
Maybe he shouldn't be in the movie if that's the tone.
Robert, that's it. His response is, "I'm from New York."
Okay,
that's
but
it. That's
hang
how you reply.
on a second. I just want to point out, he doesn't know what Wakanda is. He doesn't know who these people are. He's not even from that Earth.
He hasn't seen black people.
He's probably racist.
No,
are they borrowing for Peacemaker now? Is that what's going on?
There was a lot of black people in Fantastic Four.
But remember this. So the X-Men are from one Earth. The 616 is one Earth.
Yep.
And the Fantastic Four is an Earth. So we know that there's 3 Earths in the movie.
Yes.
And what if those people have never been on each other's Earths before? Would they have to go there? Would they have to converse? Like, and does time pass the same on each Earth as it does? And if it didn't, and if it did, and if you think about like the, we know from the end of the Marvels that there's a different Earth from the 616 universe, and that's where the Beast is, and that's where
a lot of people don't know from the end of the Marvels, to be fair.
Yeah, I understand. That's too bad because the Bone Temple's
so
great.
Many times in multiverse stories, we don't know what fucking X-Men we're dealing with anymore.
I think with the trailer buildup, I wouldn't have ended with that one. I thought the X-Men one was actually good, and you talked about the tone of the trailers. That's the only thing you could focus on because they were giving so little away. And I'm not against this approach at all. I love the fact that they were putting them only in theaters, and they knew people were going to leak them, and that's part of the marketing strategy too.
I think they leaked them.
I think they did, and they pull a couple of down. We're going to copyright claim them a little bit to make it's all part of it.
It's like No Way Home, right? They are the ones that leaked the Spider-Man shot and then claimed it wasn't real.
And then digitally took them out. Yeah.
They want to make us happy. And they have to make us happy, because if not,
I think they want money.
They want money.
And making us happy brings them money.
Nobody in Hollywood,
exactly.
No one in Hollywood history has gone all in terms of how much they've spent on a movie than they have on Avengers Doomsday.
Yeah, it's a big swing,
and they've spent a lot of money. And I would say, I hate to say this, but because I used to say I'd make jokes when I was on Collider Heroes. I talked about Kevin Feige as the Lord and Savior of the comic book film, and I know his reputation has been tarnished, but even he knows. His days are numbered. He's
tarnished, ruined, more like.
He's in the end zone, and he's got 3 seconds left on the clock, and he has to throw a pass, and he has to hit his receiver and run into the opposite.
I'm putting my money on a safety right now.
It's a Hail Mary. It's a Hail Mary.
It's a Hail Mary. Although that movie's going to be fucking great. And that's
Project Hail Mary is going to be awesome, I think.
But I have to tell you, I'm willing to go in all in.
Okay.
I'm going all in.
And nobody's going to. That's your fan, and we love you for that. That's why we love RMB. Now I am going to be the other kind of fan. It's like, you got to fucking show me. You haven't earned shit.
Gotta win me back, dude.
I know.
And you.
But it sounds like he.
And
knows
I have a
some
question.
secrets.
And my biggest question is, how is the guy who's caused all these problems going to fix them? Can Kevin Feige find the old Kevin Feige? And let's be real, Kevin Feige had a lot of help in those early days. He had a brain trust that is gone now. That brain trust is gone. And when you're bringing in Michael,
I know, without Victoria Alonso, what's he going to do?
What's he going to do? Without bringing in Michael Waldron. I mean, can we just move away from trying to make everything fucking Rick and Morty with Lower Decks and the Marvel?
Yeah.
stop. Okay.
Some earnestness. Can we just have some earnestness?
I think that's
please?
what Robert was talking about with the tone of the trailers. Is the earnestness is back, and I'd like to see that. I'd very much like to see that, because I'm like, Marvel humor is bad, and what it is, it's just people. It's not even James Gunn. It's James Gunn ripping on Joss Whedon. So it's James Gunn who ripped on Joss Whedon, and then it's and then it's infected every other franchise, including Star Trek, And we need to bring back earnest filmmaking and stop with the fucking gags and stuff. And it could be lighthearted and fun and still be earnest. It's a balance. And you know what? You know who was really fucking good at that? Joss Whedon was really good at that with the Avengers movie. That was a perfect balance of it.
Yeah. And I think, look, I am not, people are going to say, Rob Burnett's paid chill. I wish I need the fucking money. And if I had the money, I'd buy more action figures. I need it. Trust me.
No, you just love this, Robert. And that's what we fucking love about you.
I do. I love it. And I would say this. Look, it's a wild swing and there's stuff. You know what? Let me ask you this. Imagine in this movie, if you could have a scene where Florence Pugh as Yelena
dies,
whose sister was Black Widow. Imagine if Steve Rogers, what he might say to her though about her sister, if they were to meet.
But
what would that
say? I wouldn't. He would say your sister sued Disney.
But I hope he wouldn't, Robert. You see, because then it takes the great Captain America and makes it all about fucking Yelena again. And that is a character that doesn't need to be upped because they have artificially tried to elevate that character, and it has failed from start to fucking finish.
I mean, just because if you remember Endgame, one of the great scenes in Endgame is when Steve Rogers sits down with Natasha and they talk about, he walks in and says, and she asks, what do you need to do your laundry? He says, I've seen whales in the East River or whatever. And they sit down and they have the conversation. Now imagine after that conversation and she's no longer with us and Steve Rogers could go talk to Yelena and what he might say about coming off of that conversation, what they meant to one another.
Mm-hmm.
And without it's not, and what if Steve Rogers was the man to instigate such a conversation and what he would say? So it's about him. Imagine that. And and imagine Chris Evans playing a scene like that. Could be.
Are you giving a hint?
I just don't think Marvel has the talent to pull it off.
Imagine,
and it all comes down to execution, right? Like that ultimately, like you can have all the best ideas in the world and it comes down to execution, and we're all going to see, less than a year away what this looks like.
I'm waiting to see that Doomsday trailer I heard about. I think we're going to get it during the Dr. Doomsday one. That
Super Bowl
that exists. I imagine we're going to get that the Super Bowl, but my friend's like, I don't fucking know.
By the way, I don't either.
Imagine in Thunderbolts if Yelena and Walker had a conversation where Yelena is like, she doesn't know why she's there, what keeps her ticking, what keeps her moving. Does she fight? Does she fall? What does she do? And then you actually have Walker being portrayed like the man he should have been portrayed as the guy that took all the shit, that took such a huge responsibility as Captain America, had everyone turn against him for doing the right thing and still having the conviction to come back to do the right thing despite all of that. Because it's about keeping on going.
John Walker did nothing wrong.
They didn't write him like that because they were fucking cowards. Even though they showed us it, they were telling us something that's completely fucking different. Don't believe your lying eyes.
All right, so we got to move on.
I don't think they got the talent for it.
The last thing I'll say is, since Endgame came out, we have had well over 100 hours of MCU content, probably 200 hours between all the movies and all the TV shows, all the dog shit they've shoveled out. And if they had not released a single thing between Endgame and when Doomsday comes out, people would probably be excited as fuck.
They'd be better off. 100%.
They'd be better off if they had not produced a single minute of MCU content between now and then. And so they've got a lot of people to win over and win back. So we'll see what happens.
It's gonna be tough.
Yeah,
I just think you should all be excited.
Okay, I want to be. I want a good Marvel movie. I want it more than anything, but I will believe it when I see it.
It's more satisfying than Starfleet Academy.
Well,
it's not hard, Robert. It's not hard.
From everything that we have seen over the last 6-7 years, right? Through every bit of shit that's been thrown at us in terms of bad content, through every fucking racist claim, sexist claim, misogynistic claim by the studios over the course of this year. If you want trust, trust is earned. And when you get rid of goodwill, you get what you fucking deserve.
Yep.
And Marvel right now are literally, we talk about Hail Marys. They are in Hail Mary territory, which is very difficult for me to say, because they have eroded every scrap of that goodwill.
Mm-hmm.
And so this won't be us taking a chance on Marvel anymore. This will be Marvel desperately trying to talk us into cinemas.
They have to
again.
win the trust back, and that is a mighty task.
And I would say they know that.
Yeah,
they know that.
They basically have to commit to it for as long as they destroyed it.
And
they also have to come out and actually say it as well. You will have to dedicate yourself
to. They have to ignore the noise like they ignored us for many, many years. They're going to have to ignore the noise.
I hate the fact that I'm out here trying to be. I am not a Marvel spokesperson. I cannot stand what they did. Hey, I did get a great hot toy from Moon Knight. I'll say that. But oh my God, did they ruin one of my favorite characters in that show? And I like Oscar Isaac. Look at that. Look at that figure.
It's the only good thing to come out of the show.
Oh my God. And how great is that figure? That is that. Oh,
it's everything the show isn't.
It looks so good on your camera. Dude.
Is that an Egyptian superhero?
I need
to. Did they just have a facelift or something? What happened there?
If they don't bring Captain Marvel back, I'm gonna riot. We need Brie Larson back in the MCU. We'll save it.
She's not going to be in Doomsday.
$1 billion movie.
How they must just kill her off really quickly or something.
I wouldn't be surprised she's in Secret Wars. I think everybody's gonna. I think Lou Ferrigno's gonna be
the only one I can share.
There you go.
There you go.
There you
go.
Wow. Speaking of, we'll quickly
not a bad movie though.
So
she looks mad.
We got our first look at Jason Momoa as Lobo.
It's Jason Samosa.
Do you have any comments about playing Lobo?
Finally.
Hey.
I mean,
he looks good.
That film.
Yeah.
I'd watch the Lobo movie all day long.
Yeah. That's down. Supergirl's in it.
Too bad he's only in 2 scenes, but man, he looks good. I mean, like,
he looks good.
Really good.
No Lobo.
Fan casting kind of works once in a while, and it's. I think that's good casting. I would definitely watch a Lobo movie.
Yeah, he was definitely born to play that role.
I mean, it is perfect casting, but my God, that first trailer looked fucking abysmal.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, would you really watch? So here's the thing: would a lot of people really watch a Lobo movie, right? Because people are like, oh, Lobo's cool. Would you watch a Lobo movie? No, he needs a fucking foil. He needs something else going. He needs something else.
Is he shirtless?
And the problem is that is Supergirl.
Yeah. See, I would watch a Lobo movie if they based it on some of the comics and if the right person was writing and directing it. There's a lot of caveats, Ryan, but I would But I wouldn't watch one written by Christina Hodson.
Oh,
no.
Okay, so Hollywood, fucking Hollywood, the only industry where you could have 2 movies that cost your studio hundreds of millions of dollars, and she's writing the fucking Batman. God.
You want to know what the funniest part about this entire story, Gary? I thought this was already announced. I thought that we already knew this. Like, as soon as we said Andy Muschietti, who directed The Flash, is going to be working on this Batman movie, I don't know if it's just my brain made the connection because they work together. But like, and Christina Hodson, it's not just random. Christina Hodson is part of the brain trust, like Tom.
Yeah, she's part of the writer's room.
The DCU
So you know who else is in that writer's room? Drew Goddard. Drew Goddard should write a fucking Batman movie. That is your guy to write the guy who developed the Daredevil Netflix series should write your Batman movie. So I don't know if it was scheduling or whatever. Tom King didn't get it, so that's kind of funny because he wrote Batman comic books and it turned into shit. But this is Hollywood personified right here.
Failing upwards.
Failing upwards. This makes no sense. She wrote The Batgirl, which got canceled. Canceled. Bumblebee, decent movie, great opening to that movie. But she also wrote Birds of Prey, The Fantastic Emancipation of One Harley Quinn.
Fantabulous.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
How dare you? How
dare you? It's a bad title. They changed it in the second week.
She wrote The Flash. So they got the direct. So it's not just her. It's Andy Muschietti who can direct other things fine. But I don't know about superhero movies because The Flash was a god-awful mess. And honestly, the Batman looks like it will make more money, be far more interesting, and probably has more of a future at this point, just based on the casting alone. I never thought I would say I'm more interested in the Batman movie. Okay, that's not something I thought.
I like the Batman. Famously, you
liked it. I think it's Az and I were talking about it.
Yeah, there's one thing that you got a bit of a problem with though.
Yep, there's 2/3. The Batman's 2/3 a good movie.
Two-thirds a good movie.
2/3 a good movie. It's got a wacky third act, and they made the Riddler.
Well, hold on. Choose one of the 3 endings, and it's a little more than 2/3 of a good movie.
Maybe, but I'm just rounding.
The Flash. It is tough to look at the Flash in totality and remove the Ezra Miller problem, and it's like. If you don't like Ezra Miller as the Flash, as an actor, as Barry Allen, if you don't like that, it is impossible to like that movie because there's fucking 2 of those motherfuckers in the movie. Like, so it's tough. I think that we're talking about Batman, so let's think about the Batman scenes. Let's think about Michael Keaton's Batman scenes. Let's think about Ben Affleck's handful of Batman scenes. I think the first Ben Affleck Batman scene, the action scene, the chase, the lassos part, I hated that part.
That costume is awful.
The Ben Affleck Bruce Wayne part is probably the best part of that fucking movie when he's talking to Barry in the alley.
Great scene, right?
Yep.
I've heard that Ben Affleck actually wrote that part, not Christina Hodson.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Which wouldn't surprise me at all, considering how attached she is to the character and because of the difference in quality. And that was an incredible fucking scene when he's Bruce talking to Barry.
I do want to point out that Christina Hodson did write 2 scripts that landed on the blacklist, and the blacklist is a script that all the agents and people around town every year they vote on the best scripts they've read for the year. These are scripts that don't necessarily have not been made, but the best scripts they've read, and she did show up on that list twice. And a lot of the time unfortunately, and she's been part of these writers groups. Now, again, I don't know Christina. I don't know anything about her. I just know that her scripts wound up on the blacklist. It's not an easy thing to do. And as someone like Andy Muschietti, if you guys have seen It, Welcome to Derry, I thought they knocked that out of the park, and he directed the 2 It movies. One was better than the other. But I would say that clearly I liked The Flash because it was a big swing, pretty weird. But I do think that if you have a director and a writer that have worked together in the past, I'm curious to see what they can do, the 2 of them, because I do think that I really thought what they did with It, Welcome to Derry, which I was completely disinterested in. But if you haven't watched it, you should watch it because it speaks for itself.
But do we think here's my view of it. I agree the Flash was a big swing. And for most people, it was a big miss. It was certainly a big miss at the box office and everything. And a lot of stuff went into that. You've got this turnover, everything. You got the rebooting of a franchise. I get it. But to put that much money in to get a $250 million return is a disastrous effort. So it is a big swing and a big miss.
Agreed.
Is it the smartest thing in the world to put that same team that had a big swing and a big miss on your biggest fucking franchise? You say what you want about Superman. Batman is the biggest.
Yes.
I think that's a colossal mistake. And personally, I don't think this ever sees the light of day and gets made. If we're just getting the confirmation that she's working on it, it means the script's in early development. It means that this thing would have no chance of seeing the light of day before 2028, likely 2029. And I personally think that depending on how Superman Man of Tomorrow goes, I don't think we know what the future holds for the DCU until they get the return from Man of Tomorrow in 2027.
However she is as a person, optically to the DC fans who are fragmented as they always are, this does not win over any. When I'm agreeing with Grace Randolph, that's a dark day. So
the bells are tolling, dude.
Yeah.
So this is.
Have you talked about? Have you also mentioned, of course, Batgirl?
Yes, I did.
So I mean that says a lot when he wouldn't even fucking put it out. That in itself is just so damning.
Yeah, it is. There's a lot of.
And then the only other two films she did was a film called Shut In, and then a film called Unforgettable. So it's like she has no good movies really to her name. Like Bumblebee, I think is vastly overrated by a lot of people. I think it's because the visual effects were really good. Like I thought the visual effects were great, and the character design.
It's the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I doubt she had anything to do with that at all.
Yeah, I mean that's what we learned, right? From what was the director who got fired or quit because she found out she couldn't direct her own action roles? Like that's what we found out about the MCU. Yeah. So it's not really surprising if that's true of almost any other industry.
Yeah. Hit play.
And I loved all of the characters I was seeing, but more often than not, they were guys. It was, a boy's coming of age story. It was a boy going
because it's mostly male who
see princesses. I was never really into princesses, and I wanted to see a young female character who was weird and different and didn't fit into any of the typical boxes. She wasn't a cheerleader. She wasn't an athlete. She wasn't a nerd. She wasn't any one thing.
Well, okay, but then you've got to respect what audience you're calling out to there.
Well, yeah,
and you're not calling out to a mainstream audience.
So what she was basically saying, I don't know if we were at the right part of the clip, but Lady Grandmaster shared this. She was sharing an interview clip. It's about Bumblebee, where she says she wants more girls in traditional male roles, and we've done that ad infinitum at this point. It's fucking done. It is a trope at this point. It is not groundbreaking at all. It is lore breaking. It is IP breaking. It is franchise breaking, and it needs to stop. And if they're still coming at it with this philosophy, which I just think she's the absolutely wrong person for Batman.
I've never watched Bumblebee, and do you want to know why?
Why?
I thought it looked like it was for girls. I've never watched it. Legitimately.
All she was saying all she was saying there is, I'd quite like to see myself in the movie because that's how I felt as a child. Yeah. But the thing, you have to realize that you don't matter because you're not the target audience. You have to be able to put yourself aside to make something for a different person. Yeah. If you can't do it, you can't be in that role. This is the difference between when they're like, well, this woman was involved in this. It's like, yes, but she either thought that way, felt the same way as the guys did, or was able to think like them and make something for them. But if you're always like, no, everything has to be to me, I have to be in every movie, it'll always fail.
So it's baffling. She was literally saying, I know I represent a much smaller minority of the market base, so I'm going to make this movie targeted exactly to that no one is going to like. They just do not. It's all about
exactly what I was saying. It's you are trying to take a mainstream male-dominated, young male-dominated industry and go, I want to push it towards a fucking 2% of nerdy girls that feel weird that aren't actually really into this shit.
Well, it's about me, I like the one, I don't care if it's a man or a woman. It's like Lauren LaFranc, who wrote Penguin, did a great phenomenal fucking job with that show.
Absolutely. Very good show.
If you want
100.
Yeah, it's like, so she would have written a better Batman movie than Christina Hodson. But it should be the best person, and you had him in the fucking writer's room. You had Drew Goddard. Drew Goddard would have written an amazing Batman movie. He wrote Project Hail Mary. He worked on The Martian. He worked on Cabin in the Woods. He worked on one of the best seasons of television ever, Angel Season 5. And he developed one of the greatest superhero television shows before Marvel got their hands on it. Daredevil on Netflix, which I still think is the best live action thing they've done with a superhero.
I have a question. Do you think this woman actually thinks she can get a new female audience and keep the same male audience?
That's what they always think.
I don't think she cares. I don't honestly think.
At least she's not ugly like a lot of these fucking hags. Like that's like the one benefit.
I think a lot of people. I think a lot of people can only judge quality by what they like, and so if it's not made for her, she won't like the movie. So she's like, well, if I make it for me, it'll be better.
Well, and a good writer can write beyond their taste, write beyond their own politics and their own biases. They can, fucking
100%.
Yeah, and you can see that in a lot of stuff. Even Alan Moore, who's like a commie wizard, can write beyond, or thinks he's a wizard. Can write.
Oh no, he is.
That. Yeah, yeah.
Him and Grant Morrison.
Yeah, Grant Morrison. Yeah. They're going to magic school together,
Morrison's
putting spells on each other.
LSD, though, dude.
Yeah, well, too bad their spells couldn't help out Warren Ellis, but tough times. Warren Ellis is going to make a comeback, by the way, which he should.
I love him.
He's great. He's great, and he didn't do anything wrong.
You make a good point, though. I mean, what's so interesting to me is all of these writers come into archetypes that have been around for hundreds, if not thousands, of years, and they come in and they're like, I'm gonna change this story and make it more like. Well, when you make it personal, you're removing it from the legendary or archetypical status. And that's why the stories endure. Like the more specificity that you have, the less the story works. It becomes dated. I mean, and what you want is you want the universality of like the hero's journey. Joseph Conrad now, because we've talked about it because of George Lucas, but the hero's journey is something that has existed. We're going to get one of the foundational hero journey stories this year from Christopher Nolan, The Odyssey. Yeah. And most people don't even know that the Iliad. I've often joked, well, it's so great we're finally getting a sequel to Troy.
Yeah.
and people, and I'm like, I mean, come on. I'm like, why? I guess Sean Bean aged out. He can't play Odysseus anymore. And people are looking at me going, what? And I'm like,
people are retarded, Robert.
I mean, but it's such an amazing thing that the Iliad and the Odyssey. And by the way, if you're a science fiction novel fans, Dan Simmons wrote an insane retelling of the Iliad and the Odyssey in his books, Ilium and Olympus, which are crazy. But we're getting one of the great hero journeys, literally a hero journey. I want to get home to my wife before all these guys that want to fuck her. I mean, I'm going to get there and get my wife back.
That's motivation. Literally, that's
how romantic.
No, Robert.
They call them suitors, Robert, but okay.
Years in somebody else's bed while he's worrying about his wife getting fucked by everybody else. Yeah. Like he gets a little distracted.
Tell her to say no.
But he does. Well, he doesn't know. I mean, he doesn't know what the suitors are doing. But I mean, literally it's a romance. It's a hero's journey. But really what he wants to do is, yes, he does get distracted. But he does love his wife. And by the way, Ralph Fiennes in The Return last year, there was a movie that tells the exact same story in a very smaller scale.
I still think Oh Brother Where Art Thou is the best adaptation.
An amazing adaptation.
Amazing adaptation. Okay.
Yes.
I hope that it's fucking awesome. Like genuinely, I have some concerns about some of the castings.
Yes.
But it's like, okay, like what are we fucking doing?
Helena,
like if the Helena Troy casting is real, what the fuck are we doing?
Sure, that
right. But with all that being said, I hope we get to see the whole thing. I hope we get to see even the end and Odysseus with the bow and arrow and like all the stuff that usually we don't think of when we think about the Odyssey.
By the way, they should get the Klingon character on this podcast, by the way.
Oh, Gary, just put a full stop on the Christine Hodson stuff. She's the perfect writer for James Gunn, because remember, it's only a couple of weeks ago James Gunn said every Batman story's been told.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah.
So that's the hands that Batman is in right now. The hands of a fucking twat.
But you know who's not a twat? This is what Sean Bean's up to right now.
But like I struggle to find out how he's going to die in this show.
Yeah. He'll get killed by a bird.
He's just looking up with his binoculars, walks off a cliff.
I see Boromir and Ned Stark like kind of sounding like an old Englishman right there. I'm going bird right now. It's so relaxing.
I like bird watching.
That's Odysseus for you.
There he is. Odysseus is bird watching. That's what he's doing.
But by the way, if they did a tie-in with Starfleet Academy, you'd have something.
Yeah. You would. You would.
He would die by being bumped to death by a Klingon.
He-Man, which I missed He-Man. I was a couple of years too old. And I think Robert did too. You know, it's
although I just want to point out, I bought the entire line of the very original He-Man figures, and this is going to seem a little weird for you guys.
No, it's
on June 4th, 1982, which was the day that Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan opened, and I was at KB Toys in the Bellevue Square Mall before I went and saw Wrath of Khan.
Nice.
And I bought the Rebel Troop Transport figure case for the Star Wars figures.
Wow.
And I saw these wacky He-Man figures, and I bought the original line. And those are the only He-Man figures
Robert
I ever
Meyer
owned.
Burnett had the most 80s day ever.
Dude, and I saw Star Trek 2 4 times that day, and they had a Laserium show before every show.
Oh,
if you were hanging out with Ferris Bueller, that would have been it, mate.
That would have been it. A little early for that. 82. I was 12.
June 4th, 1982.
Good.
That's
times.
a true story, by the way.
Good time. So I believe it. And did you ever get the Wonder Bread He-Man one? That's the first one, the mail away.
No,
Wonder Bread.
Because I only bought the first 8. I like those figures though. And I did work on a documentary that hasn't really been officially released on the two men that argue about whether or not they created He-Man.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. So there's a trailer for He-Man. A new trailer. And I didn't hate the little pre-trailer thing they did with the cereal and the exercising. I thought that was fine. But let's take a look at this.
All that stuff that only exists in legends and bedtime stories. Talking tigers.
That was great.
Spaceships.
Put us on the side.
And magic swords that can make a man as mighty as a god.
Good job with this.
Where I come from, that stuff is real. Why did you send me away?
I wanted you to be safe. So I sent you to a place I knew that they'd never find you.
People are on the fence about this, but I think it actually will work. About him being sent to another world. I actually think they're tying in She-Ra's origin with this to justify.
There's a logic. There's a logic here, yeah.
I think that
go back to him.
That's the thing about this trailer that I actually kind of dig all the Eternia stuff. Like it looks over the top and a little bit cheesy and whatever. What I don't particularly love is yet another, hey, we're in the real modern day world and we have to go to this. That's I don't like it. But again, I'm not a He-Man fan. I don't know like if there's ever had anything like that. I don't know anything about She-Ra. That's not my shit, right? So from my perspective,
it depends on the lore, but
yeah, She-Ra was stolen as a baby by Hordak and Skeletor, and they could actually tie that in quite well because, like, there are narrative problems that the family just like. Obviously, they did it later. She-Ra was never part of the original story, and if it was, why didn't they ever mention that? Adam has a twin sister and all that stuff. And if they actually
a lot of
decide
stuff changed over the years too with how He-Man was initially created, and the other thing too with the original cartoon. Allegedly, and I don't think they actually worked this into the story, He-Man's mom was supposed to be from Earth.
See, so there are interesting things that they can work with here, and the character of Adam is like was always handled interesting in the cartoon, where he was a bit of a goof out of place, and he always played it down, and that can work in. Actually, they could work with that with what they're doing here, and tie in She-Ra's origin as well. That they both had to be sent away for safety, and so I think that there's potential that actually could work with what they're doing.
Okay,
yeah.
So we got the him here, which I think it's a joke. He's working in an HR department.
Think so too.
And I think
he's
they're
about to get bitched out by his black bitch boss about how he's making people feel uncomfortable and asking for his consent for all these things. Look, it is modern day Hollywood where we have watched every single thing we love get absolutely desecrated one way or another. So I get why everyone's sensitive about this. To me, in a he-man movie, making a he-him joke while he's working in HR and while he's clearly miserable with his life and knows he belongs somewhere else, I view it as a joke, but certainly we could be proven wrong. I think there's been a massive overreaction to a he-him joke in a he-man trailer, personally.
I think if you're marketing something like this, though, you should be aware of the time that you're in and make it very clear that you are joking. Yeah. You can't just because I think it is perfectly normal's the wrong word.
Reasonable,
understandable for people to take it that way.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I think the bigger warning signs, if there's going to be a woke agenda here, is the race swap of Man-at-Arms and the approach of Teela. I think this is more just, a joke on the fact that it's very similar to He-Man's name. It's like,
I said it's nothing more of a joke. And also the fact that as Ryan said, he wants to escape this life. He does escape this life. This is a guy who's at his desk, fucking probably dying of crushing boredom. And then, in a couple of moments' time, we're going to see him in a ship, excited, happy, full of wonder, and we're going back to Eternia. So, this to me is just a clear joke on current, isms.
Last year at CinemaCon, this is part of Amazon MGM is making a big push into theatrical distribution. And their first movie, I hate to say, was Mercy, which I saw yesterday, and I wanted to put a bullet in my face after it was over.
Wow.
And then I went and saw Return to Silent Hill, and then in the bullet hole, I would have used a teaspoon to scoop out what was remaining of my brain.
Wow.
I just want to say, it was not a good time at the film shows, but
it wasn't 1982.
No, it was not. It was. However, I would say this. What's really interesting, why I have faith in this film, is Travis Knight, who directed Bumblebee and directed Kubo and the Two Strings, directed this film. And I actually sat down with him I had to do an interview. I was hired to do an interview with him for a licensing. I don't know where it was, some licensing event with Hasbro before he had directed Bumblebee. And he talked to me about how passionate he was about the Transformers because he was a kid when they first came out. I would think that this movie, it'd be like me directing a Star Trek movie. It'd be my entire life's work. And having met Travis Knight, I think this film, and I know nothing about it, unlike Avengers Doomsday, which I know everything. But I don't know anything. And I trust in Travis. And one of the great things he did was he hired Guy Hendricks Dias, as the production designer. And he did Inception. He did X2. He's an incredible talent. And I work with him on Superman Returns and documented all of his sets. And he actually talked to me about Rotor, the machine, the spinning wheel machine, and you see it in the trailer. And he talked to me about how he goes, "Where do you see it?" He was like totally excited, and it's in the trailer. I'm like, the people that made this movie, they believe. They're into it.
There are a couple of things. Like, I think the design of Man-at-Arms and Teela are a miss, but the most important things that they really need to get right is He-Man and Skeletor.
And who plays Skeletor?
Jared Leto, but he's covered up. And Skeletor, the way he looks great.
Yeah, awesome.
Jared Leto, keep the fucking mask on, keep the fucking suit on, and just do a crazy voice. And
and the sword, like the sword, He-Man and Skeletor seem very authentic. And then not only that when the transformation sequence, that is lifted straight from the original cartoon, but given all the flashy lights that needs and it ends.
I think we need a race swapped He-Man. I don't know about you guys.
we got that in the cartoon from Kevin Smith.
Hold on, we need an Indian He-Man who says, "I have to shower."
They would never admit it though.
Okay, part of my issue with the casting is I think he's fine as Prince Adam, but He-Man is like Arnold big. He's a big fucking muscular dude, and he looks nothing like him.
By the way, the Man-at-Arms costume looks great, Shad. When Man-at-Arms is in his actual Man-at-Arms costume, he looks great.
Yeah, I think
he's a completely different color and the wrong guy, but the actual costume looks great. When he's in his like desert outfit, I think that's because the armies of Eternia have been like decimated by Skeletor, and they're getting the band back together, sort of thing. I think that's where they're going. But if you looked at like I keep wanting to say Lockjaw, sorry, love. When you see like Trapjaw and Fisto and stuff, they look fucking awesome in this trailer. Teela, though, apparently I've been told I need to look properly because apparently she's got some cake. But Teela's outfit to me needs a lot of work.
Some what?
Yeah, I don't like Teela.
Well, she's completely covered up, but like the original character.
They gave her
she wears a leotard in the original,
right? Yeah.
Okay. So do you have this, Lady Greymaster? Hit play.
This obsession with nerd stuff and sword things, it's not a good look for human resources.
Perfect head of HR.
Yep.
Never seen better casting in all my life.
Accurate.
But that sword is gonna show me the way home.
Sir, you can't do that.
Don't worry.
And see,
that's Shad right there.
Well, no, that's in line with Adam. Adam is supposed to be a bit of a puppet.
Right.
Sure. Discover your true power.
At least he's fucking smiling and having fun.
Look, he looks jacked there. So
he is pretty built. He's not like built.
He looks pretty jacked as He-Man. Does he look like fucking a complete and total freak of nature? He looks really fucking jacked as He-Man.
Right, he needs to.
Maybe not the Schwarzenegger.
And look, Skeletor, that looked great.
Skeletor looks even better at the end.
Yeah,
there's Trapjaw. He looked great. Beastman looks great. Evelyn looks great.
Evelyn, yeah.
Allison Brie is Evelyn.
Oh,
all right.
I can deal with that.
This transformation, right?
Yeah.
That is. That's like okay, Dan. No.
He looks good.
That was right out of the cartoon.
I'm gonna buy my ticket right now.
Look at that Snake Mountain as well. Snake Mountain looks great there as well.
Yeah,
that does look good.
But Castle Grayskull appearing in the background when he raises it, the lightning coming in at the sword, that is all the cartoon.
Look at this.
Look at that, yeah.
Wow. That's what happens when you take too much Ozempic.
See, it's like I feel like again, it is coming from someone that doesn't give a fuck about He-Man. I didn't watch it growing up, and I don't know if I just wasn't watching that stuff or I was just a little too young. You guys are a little too old for when it was like big. But I like the Eternia stuff. It looks really over the top and almost cheesy in a way. I think that's cool. Like, I think it's what it should be if you're doing a He-Man movie. I don't like the real world aspect, and maybe it'll play okay. But I'm very
maybe it's not in it that much.
No. Yeah, I'm hoping it's just a small part, and then let's get into Eternia. Let's get into He-Man.
30 minutes tops, maybe.
I think 20 minutes, 25 minutes, Planet Earth. No more than that.
But you can see that the filmmakers, they believed, man.
Yeah, they do.
Look at this. That's exactly the plastic staff he had when you first got Skeletor. That was one of the first figures they ever made.
Yeah.
For the most part, they're embracing the design look of the original cartoon, then bringing into the Monday with terms of detail and effects and stuff. And that's what we want. None of this like, oh, we'll never put Wolverine in his yellow costume. They're going right the other way.
Full on, man. Full on.
There's a really good documentary called The Toys That Made Us, and they talk about the history of He-Man and its development, and it's really, really good and worth watching. Because when I grew up, when I was a kid, I mean, I was right in that age range for He-Man, and I had all the initial run of toys. I think it was like 8 figures, and like I mentioned, it wasn't the lore of He-Man really didn't get developed until the cartoon came out, because initially they had like these small little like pamphlet,
they didn't know
comic strips. Where that they
oh
did
my God.
like some backstory.
Let Lady Greymaster share it. X-ray girl. X-ray girl.
What's that little guy in the back?
Where was Orko?
X-ray girl.
That's
me.
The one disappointment. Where was Orko?
Let Lady Greymaster.
He better be
that you. Let X-ray girl share it.
What is he, a ghost?
No, it's not me.
He's a wizard.
I have no idea. I don't know. Orko might be in the movie. I have no idea. I know
he's in it, and they've CGI'd him out for the trailers.
Oh.
Because they do that. They've done that with characters before.
I know.
They have.
Me, I know.
And because he'll be a completely CGI character, do you think they've got rid just so he's out? So it's a little something to stick in the final trailer.
Well, I would just say, to be fair, Orko was not a part of the original release of the toys.
No, he was not. He was developed during the cartoon.
He was not. And so
same thing.
He's not part of the original He-Man mythos.
Yeah.
So
I know that.
Was
I
Adam.
Slink away.
No. I get why Gary wouldn't have been able to get it. The cartoon is very, very aimed at children. The plot lines are goofy as hell. But the thing about what makes He-Man, the thing about what makes He-Man special in my mind is that the entire concept of it was made as a toy that they needed to sell. So they just knuckled down on making this the coolest, most awesome thing for little boys to love. And it's interesting, that documentary you mentioned, the comics, right? How they came up with the catchphrase, "I have the power." Right. That's actually a really empowering, uplifting message for young men.
Well, and the other thing you need to remember, Shad, is that the cartoon came out after the initial release, because the toy launched in 82 and the cartoon came out in 83. And that was like after Reagan went and rescinded that one law where you basically couldn't make cartoons and toys be a thing, right? So yeah, I mean, initially it was a toy line, much like G.I. Joe, and then you eventually get the cartoon.
Oh,
I don't like these PSAs though. None of these like 80s PSAs. I'm not a big fan of them.
Well, the other two in the cartoon,
I think they're teaching I think they're sending the wrong messages, Shad. I think it's virtue signaling. Don't touch people. Don't be racist. Fuck that. What are we talking about?
Don't touch people.
Sorry, this is in 180p, but we have additional.
It is 1983.
We have an additional He-Man trailer. Here we go.
Shira and I want to talk to you about something that's very personal. Your
R.I.P.
Remember, it's your body and no one should touch you in a way that you feel is wrong.
I'll get anybody who tries it.
It's not that easy, Orko. It's hard for a young person to admit that he or she has been touched in a bad way.
If you've been touched that way, don't be ashamed. Tell someone you trust, like your parents, your doctor, your teacher, or counselor, or your minister or rabbi.
Right, Orko?
The rabbi.
Yeah, don't tell your teacher.
What if it is my rabbi?
Yeah, don't tell your fucking teacher.
Yeah, they're doing it.
Oy vey.
Some of those people might be doing it, okay? So...
Because yes, a lot of people were getting molested.
I
a lot of people were
reckon,
getting molested in the 80s. Like if it's your uncle, tell your mom.
Genuinely, though, the PSAs at the end of each He-Man episode were actually they were based on universal morals. A lot of them were very positive, very beneficial. They were great. They were good little messages that had a really good positive influence.
They're taking our fictional characters and they're attaching political messaging to them, Shad. They're pushing shit with your characters you care about. Fuck that, okay?
It was originally non-political. It was just universal morality that everyone agreed upon. That was good to teach young kids, especially young boys. And that's what He-Man was really good for.
G.I. Joe did it too. So
Yep.
Workshop
I remember running around as a kid with a wooden sword, doing the whole "I have the power" thing constantly, wanting to be like He-Man and be better because he was a character I idolized as a young man.
You gave off big Prince Adam energy, huh, Shad? That's what you're calling it.
By the way, there were some really great writers. I mean, it's silly to say this, but there's a lot of very accredited writers who'd written books and short stories and comics that did write for the He-Man TV show. So you can't totally dismiss it.
No, and the 2003 He-Man adaptation was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah,
actually wasn't bad.
Really well done.
That wasn't bad.
People seem
transformation. The OG transformation is still the GOAT. That no one has ever topped that. And
it is. I like the 2003 more than the original.
No,
yes,
Comics, you're
yeah,
dubbing.
Gary, I gotta drop now, dude.
All right. Catch you later, man.
Right, Robert, we'll do something.
Bye.
We'll do something.
Are you going? Dude,
Yeah,
we gotta do
go,
something
bro.
because I've got so many toys and all that. By the way, Az and I, we did a whole series, What Toys.
What toys, yeah.
And I'm
fully
into,
articulated, man.
Fully articulated. You know what?
Yeah.
I've heard you are.
I don't like to brag, but
I've heard it's true.
You know, in Eternia, he's Trapjaw. On Earth, he's Lockjaw.
Oh no!
Lock balls.
We've all been there.
You know what? You know what, Az, though? I heard you were man at arms.
he's a man with a bigger arm.
Just all hands, but okay, you know, same thing to me. I'll get in touch, man. Thank you, everyone. See you Sunday for my birthday. Bye.
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 All right. Everybody okay? We're going to do one more quick article, then we'll get to subs because we got to talk about the Razzies really quick. To kind of, it's poetry. It rhymes. The people who made Starfleet Academy, a lot of them, including Alex Kurtzman, are nominated for a Razzie this year. And they're up against some pretty stiff competition with Snow White and the Electric State. So the Razzie nominations are up. And we can scroll down at this point. And we just go down to the okay, so worst picture. The Electric State, Hurry Up Tomorrow, which I have not seen, Snow White, Star Trek Section 31, and War of the Worlds.
31 for me.
31.
Very stiff competition there.
Snow White for sure.
Yeah, you think Snow White will win, but Star Trek Section 31 was pretty bad.
Yeah.
War of the Worlds, I think, is going to be a popular one for these. It was just so memed on and shit, you know?
What you mean, a movie where the famous patriot Ice Cube is working for the Department of Defense and he's in a green screen room because they couldn't film it in a room with actual fucking furniture in an office. And
that was a good day.
And the aliens took down everything but the internet and Amazon gift cards.
What? And the actual culmination of the movie is him leaning over with a USB stick. And that's like the big conclusion. Most unrealistic part, he gets it the right way in first time round. That's never happened, ever.
Guys, to be fair, everybody needs a paycheck, so, you know.
Sure.
I wish that Cleaner and G20 made the list too, but...
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, G20 should... Yeah, both of those deserve it. Dave Bautista in The Lost Lands. I'm glad George R. Martin took time from the book from Winds of Winter to make that. Ice Cube in War of the Worlds. Scott Eastwood, oh no. And Alarum, which I've never seen. Jared Leto and Tron Ares.
Oh.
That's a strong contender because he basically didn't act.
Yeah.
It was just monotone.
Abel the Weekend for Hurry Up Tomorrow. Worst actress is Ariana DeBose in Love Hurts. Mila Jovovich, in The Lost Lands. Natalie Portman, Fountain of Youth. Rebel Wilson, Bridehard. What were we gonna say, Brian?
I just didn't see it. Didn't see Fountain of Youth, so I can't speak on Queen Natalie's performance.
Gary, please don't make us watch all these movies for the Razzies.
No.
It's too late. It's too late.
I mean, you've watched a lot of them already. Disparu's seen Bridehard.
Yeah, Rebel Wilson is the big fat blonde, which is doing the Black Widow spins around people. And it's like, what is happening?
Is it like Bridesmaids, Disparu?
She's not as fat anymore.
She was in the movie.
What's Bride Hard is Rebel Wilson's like a secret agent, right? And she's going to a wedding.
Yeah,
you know this, Gary. Did you watch this movie?
I think
she
trailer.
directed it too.
Yeah, I watched the trailer. I paid attention. And then Michelle Yeoh. So she was paid $12 million to be in Section 31, which was supposed to be a series. And then it got kind of sidelined until Michelle Yeoh won her Academy Award. And somehow Alex Kurtzman was able to grift that into a TV movie, which was something to behold.
I think for Wicked, she could also have gotten nominated as well. Because, man, her performance in Wicked was terrible.
Worst remake ripoff sequel. There was a lot to choose from. Is I Know What You Did Last Summer, Five Nights at Freddy's 2, Smurfs, Snow White, War of the Worlds. I would add about 10 more to that, but
Snow White.
The FNAF was not horrible.
The what?
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah.
The kids
fans of the franchise
FNAF.
liked it a lot.
Is that what the kids call it?
Yeah, Chrissy's using the kids' language. Thanks,
I'm down with what's up.
Who just got in this franchise 6 months ago.
I have a teenager in my midst. I'm up with what's down.
Yeah. I'm down with what's up.
I love that. I wish I could say that.
Anna 6'7", guys. No cap.
Oh my god.
Hey there, kids. The bipping and the bopping and the hipping and the hopping.
Anna Klumsky as Bride Hard. Emma Harvath for the Strangers.
Not that difficult.
Horvath for The Strangers Chapter 2. Scarlet Rose Stallone for Gunslingers. Casey Roll in Star Trek Section 31, and Isis Valverde for Alarum.
One of the interesting parts: no Rachel Zegler for Snow White, no Gal Gadot for Snow White for supporting actress.
That's a snub.
Either.
That would be
those are both snubs in my opinion.
Yep. Worst supporting actor: all 7 dwarves, artificial dwarves in Snow White. Nicolas Cage in Gunslinger, Stephen Dorff in Bride Hard, Greg Kinnear in Off the Grid, and Sylvester Stallone in Alarum.
Some big names there.
Yeah.
Nick Cage, Greg Kinnear, Stallone. Yeah.
Worst on-screen combo, all 7 dwarves in Snow White.
This is the funniest category.
James Corden and Rihanna in Smurfs. Ice Cube and his Zoom camera.
Zoom camera.
Robert De Niro as Frank and Vito and Alto Knights.
Double win.
Give it to him.
That's a good one right there.
And The Weeknd and his colossal ego in the Rim tomorrow. Worst director is Rich Lee for War of the Worlds. A name I could not pronounce for Star Trek Section 31. The Russo brothers for Electric State.
Yeah.
What was it?
I would say Alatunde Asunami.
Okay, there you go.
Asunsomni.
Yeah, there you go.
And the directors of Avengers Doomsday for Electric State. Trey Edward Schultz for Hurry Up Tomorrow. And Mark Webb for Snow White. Mark Webb, what did he direct? What else did he direct, guys?
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Webb, haha.
Get it, yeah. Amazing Spider-Man. Worst screenplay, The Electric State, Hurry Up Tomorrow, Snow White, Star Trek Section 31, War of the Worlds. Section 31 was nominated for a lot of
read Snow White's. That one's just funny.
Screenplay by Christopher Marcus, Stephen McFeely, adapted from an illustrated novel by Simon Stollenhag.
He just wants the Snow White one.
The Snow White one.
Screenplay by Aaron Cressida Wilson and a bunch of others too numerous to mention. Greta Gerwig was part of that as well, right?
Yes, she was. Yes, she was. So that's it.
Can't wait for Narnia.
I do want to say Mark Webb did direct the 500 Days of Summer.
Yes, he did, and that's what got him the Spider-Man gig.
I really love that movie.
I like that movie.
It's a great film.
That was a good movie.
On that note, I do actually need a bounce. It is my son's birthday. And we're
happy birthday, kiddo.
Happy birthday to him.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
You're in the future.
Kiddo.
Happy birthday.
We're going to get to the
4 years
people.
old is my
Do you ever tell him the future is just terrible?
No.
Just to fuck with him.
By the way,
He's
tell him
obsessed
that
with
he should look
Batman.
forward to Avengers.
Okay, I don't know, Robert. I don't know. I'm not sure I can.
Look. You know what? Don't believe me. Come back at me on December 19th, and you tell me if I was wrong.
We will find out. I'm looking forward to it. Good to chat, Robert, and I'll see you all later.
Bye.
Later, Shad. Peace. We need to make sure to have you on, Robert, for that.
Well, here's the thing. My entire I go all in on the reputation, and the Picard season 3 thing. People have come back at me. I understand, but I want you to know, I believe, and I wish people would give me money for my opinion. They don't.
To be fair, I was on the fence for Picard season 3, and I actually ended up really enjoying it.
Well, you know what's great about that show, Picard season 3, is how they extended the characters. The fact that Geordi was a father of 2 girls, and the fact that Riker and Troy were estranged because their child died. Terry did a really great job of making those characters, the characters, extending what we loved about them and made them different. And he was still saddled with the unbelievable bullshit of Picard seasons 1 and 2. But the reason I like Picard season 3 is because of how the characters were portrayed. Was the last 2 episodes, were they a little ridiculous? Yeah. But he only had a certain amount of time. That should have been a 26 episode season show. We should have had the episode with, I don't know, people are like, what are you talking about? When the Borg Queen and the Changeling met and why they conspired to start this whole thing. We needed that. That was missing.
Yes.
But I would say this. Avengers Doomsday, if there's one time in my life I could go in and say, and I'm the first person to say, I have been let down for 6 years. If there's one time I would say, I'm in. It's Avengers Doomsday.
All right.
And no one paid me to say that. But if they want to, I'll say it more. Give me some fucking cheddar, man, because I'm a broke ass.
It's below.
Well, that's always been the problem, and you're not one. But that's always been the problem.
Oh, I am a broke ass.
Broke ass N-word.
Yeah.
But as far as if Shills were actually paid cash money, I'd have more respect.
Dude, isn't it so, like, the studios have to have, there is no shill division at a studio that is like paying us out. I get called a shill all the time. I'm like, I'd love to be one.
Well, where do I sign up?
Like, where's
the thing is,
please,
for
any studio, I will shill for you.
Well, I think that's the way a lot of people view it, is these people are getting paid actually like dollars, like, hey, we're giving you $1,000 to promote this. The reality is somewhat much more insidious, which is that there are a lot of people whose opinions are for sale.
Yep.
And although Robert and I have obviously different outlooks on Doomsday, probably in large part because you have more information than I do, it sounds like, I believe that everything Robert says is genuine. I know that everything Robert says is genuine. And then when the movie comes out, we might have the same opinion. We might have a different opinion. But even though we have a lot of different opinions on a lot of things in the world, I believe that Robert's a genuine person.
Yes.
At the end of the day, that's what matters.
For
a lot of these
no one's paying me, and I want them to. I want them to.
That's honesty.
Right. I want to be
being genuine.
I want to sell my opinion. I am for sale.
It's when you see these people that they bring in to do fake as fuck reactions to the Steve Rogers Captain America trailer, including some stupid fucking bitch who already did a reaction to the leaked trailer the day before he went in there and pretended to have a reaction to the Steve Rogers trailer. That's when they're getting paid in access. They're getting paid in, we'll make sure to invite you to this thing and to this thing and to this thing. They're getting paid in access, which then they can turn into monetary value if they play their cards right. That's what people are like so fucking sick and tired of. This stupid dumb bitch soups who will fucking go out there and claim that this is the best DC movie, this is the best Marvel movie, and then needs fucking Google AI to tell him that the Odyssey is based on a couple 1,000-year-old story. Yet this is who you've decided is the critic in chief that you need to give access to. What the fuck are we doing?
Oh my God, bro, you don't
Nolan movie. It's based on the Odyssey. It's like a 2,000-year-old book, bro.
Diane Kruger was to be the woman of Troy. Come on, she was pretty great. I'm just saying,
the woman of Troy. To the people, the cunning linguist for 100 New Zealand pesos. Dear panel, long-time listener, first-time grifty. There we go. I recently discovered I may have been binging FNT too much when standing in line at a restaurant. My kids asked me how electric cars work. Nice and loud, I said, "Black girl magic." This was in Sydney, Australia, and everyone freaked out thinking, shit, there's a black girl here. The crowd scattered, and we got a table right away. Hey, there's nice. Your magic to get a table then. The Aussie Juggalo for 50 Australian dollars says, hey, hi, Gary. I think cutting the panel intros from the show was smart, much more streamlined now, but making this change has caused a significant decrease in you saying X-Ray Girl with your iconic Japanese accent. Can you say it again for old time's sake?
Oh, X-Ray Girl.
Thank you for producing show X-Ray Girl.
Oh, you're welcome.
And the music.
Gary-san.
You have snatched the pebble from my hand.
Very hard worker.
While we're on the topic of Asians, last Samurai Standing. I'm gonna shout from the rooftops how good that show is,
bro. It's so good.
So Robert, what do you think about? Because I like it. With the using AI,
I love it.
You love it when they use the AI to match the English.
It's okay. Look, I found out. I have to tell you, I got a notice from Instagram that told me that my postings are getting immediately translated into Spanish, to Portuguese, to Hindi.
Cool.
Is that okay? I'm like, and they make my mouths move differently. I'm like, if my drivel can get sent out to the world and they'll get monetized, I'm like, I would love to speak Hindi because maybe somebody will bring me to India, which I've never been. I've never been to India. I've always wanted to go. Somebody will bring me out. Well, okay.
I've never wanted to go.
Well, ever since I saw the James Bond film Octopussy, to be honest.
Okay.
I mean, Octopussy, there's a whole place where Maud Adams and they have a place where all kinds of women warriors like live. I want to go there. You know?
If I could travel the world like James Bond, I would be much more. I'd be like, let's fucking jet across everywhere.
If you're,
and let's not forget that Vijay Armitage, who was in that movie, is the Indian tennis player, is also in Star Trek 4. The Voyage Home. He's a starship captain.
That's right.
Capsize. I just want to say that. I mean, I've always wanted to go to India.
Well,
you know,
going to India or going to Egypt is great if you're going to really nice hotels. If you're going to really nice hotels, you're good.
If you stay away from the locals,
like Jamaica.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't want to like wade through shit. Like,
they throw garbage in the water there.
Okay, so we were on a night. We were on the night train in Egypt, and X-Ray Girl knows this story. They took the trash from the train and just tossed it out the side while the train was moving.
Just open the door and tossed it.
I respect that behavior, actually. So I think we need more of that in the world.
Cole Hauser for 50 Canadian pesos. Wait, get the right button. Thank you. Praise the rock. Hail Gary, Jeremy as my Transformer brother, Riga, Ryan, Chrissy, Brother Comics, Odin, Shad, Disparu, X-Ray Girl. Special shout out to RMB with the greatest nerd comedy free enterprise. Great movie, buddy. That was awesome seeing it.
Hopefully we can get it re-released. It's been out of print for 20 years. It is the 60th anniversary of Star Trek. I hope I can get it back out this year.
Dude, 4K. Come on, you can do it.
That's my dream, Ray Kinsella. That's my dream.
Gary, can you give my channel a shout out to get me to 400 subs? Cole Hauser. Is the channel Cole Hauser? Ryan?
Cole Hauser. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, he does this. He does the Praise Ara stream.
Yeah. Go check out Cole Hauser. Praise Ara. Give him a sub. Give him a sub. Duke Devil 95 for 20 Nerdrotic memberships. That's $100. Thank you, Duke Devil. Hail, brother. Hope you're doing well. Mikey effing Gussler for 50. What's up, Mikey?
Goblet of Fire.
He's going to yell at us about Goblet of Fire. We did our Harry Potter live stream last night, Ryan and I. It was tons of fun. Yeah.
It feels like people liked it.
It did really well on the channel. So I'm very happy with the result. Shopping at Giant Eagle here in Central Ohio, and it was packed. We are expecting up to 15 to 16 inches of snow this weekend. Yeah, you guys are going to get plummeled. Already got Monday off. Plummeled.
Whatever that means.
Plummeled.
It's pummeled with plums.
I want to get plummeled. That sounds dangerous.
Yeah, Chrissy's like, ever since the baby, I haven't got plummeled in a long time.
I would like 8 inches. Just kidding.
How about 8 inches twice? That'd be
Love
16.
you, Frank.
Wow.
That's a normal night for Dave Filoni.
Already got Monday off. I'll be chilling at home and watching you guys. Remember, Gary, read my letter before you send the gifts. I promise I will. I'll read it this weekend. I will. Eric Guidewall has gifted 10 Nerdrotic memberships for $50. Hail, brother. Thank you. And your reward will be me watching Starfleet Academy watch parties. We will commiserate together.
Do we have to?
We have to. We have to.
I think the next episode's the Klingon one.
Yeah. And then the 5th episode is DS9. They mess with DS9 a little bit.
With Fringy?
No, it's worse.
Okay.
Oh,
Cisco.
No.
Ian so forth for 50 euros. Oh, British pounds, proper money. I'm sorry. I disrespected your country. I hate repeated jokes. I hate repetition. Ian so forth for 50 British pounds, proper money. I hate repeated jokes. I hate repetition.
He's been drinking again.
I think he's been drinking, yeah. You can tell by his soups.
And he's Scottish.
Listen, I am not going to say I have never repeated a joke on multiple streams, within a week, because I have.
As long as there's new people.
If you're on a couple and you're talking about the same topic, sometimes it's hard not to. You might be a new audience. You never know.
Yeah.
Sarcastro for 50. I like that name. FNT, tough week at working for customs and border protection. Oof. Been looking forward to your discussions all week. We are recruiting law-abiding U.S. citizens. Pay your bills too. Search CPB careers, looking for people to be the nation's front line. Oh, they're looking. Hey, need a job?
Maybe I could do it.
Get a job in customs. I could never get a job in customs because I'm a felon. And they would never hire me.
I'd become a felon if I worked in customs.
See, the thing is, Robert, I would too. As a collector, you'd be all, oh, whoops, they lost that. Whoopsie doopsie.
Oh, no, man. I'd smuggle.
You'd smuggle? In your prison wallet?
All kinds
your
of
butthole.
That's the same thing.
Yes, if I needed to. 25 little balloons, maybe?
Is this DJ?
I don't know what then last
We'll just say
part is.
DJ for 50. Andrew Garfield is the greatest Spider-Man. The Soskas can get wrecked. He's not. He's really good in No Way Home.
I like Andrew Garfield.
He's a great actor. We'll give him that.
Great actor.
Yeah. Greatest.
He really got the talking shit part of Spider-Man completely right.
I've always loved Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man. I don't like his Peter Parker in the Amazing Spider-Man movie.
He kind of got
I don't
robbed.
like cool skateboarder Peter Parker.
Right.
I do love his Spider-Man.
Yep. Agreed.
Gary's checking his remaining toes.
I'm getting a visual aid.
Oh.
Visual aids. Because this came
AIDS?
out. I'm sure,
You were getting AIDS?
yeah, I was getting aids. Visual aids.
Visually.
I got to put the backpack back on. But yeah, right here. But yeah, the Andrew Garfield one. So I was going to make a custom one with a head.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
It is cool. It comes with a bunch of shit too. It's really good. It's really good. So yeah, I'm not against them. being Spider-Man. I just am against everything tonally as Peter Parker being a skateboarder. And then when we talk about Amazing Spider-Man 2, which was written by who wrote Amazing Spider-Man 2? Alex Kurtzman.
Yeah, that was a bad movie.
Yeah, it was awful.
But yeah. No, they did an old man Peter Parker, which I have in a box right there, and then they've done this.
The Absolute Spider-Man, or no, different thing.
Look, if they
figures,
I don't know if there's any comic book movie announcement that would excite me too much more than if they announced like another Andrew Garfield Spider-Man project.
After No Way Home, especially like that.
Yeah,
really,
I watch it.
Just
He stole the show in that.
Yeah,
like he was
did.
so good. So not against him at all. But Toby's the GOAT. Toby is the GOAT.
True.
But thank you for the $50. If you like him, that's cool. Andrew. Now I was going to make a custom with Andrew Garfield's head, but unfortunately, I threw it at a monitor. And
I thought that's what you did to that one. Yeah.
Yep.
No, I don't know where the head is now. I lost it. It's somewhere in a box because I packed it from San Diego. But yeah.
By the way, Toby's the GOAT for about 6 minutes, 7 minutes from the beginning of.
In Avengers Doomsday, absolutely the GOAT, and then he gets killed by somebody.
Well, or a planetary
or
calamity.
Circumstance. Yes.
You know,
a circumstance.
It's a great way to open a movie, though.
Also, you said the worst numbers for that, man, because now I have to do this.
What?
You said 6 or 7 minutes.
Oh, 6, 7.
You said 6 or 7 minutes.
Oh my God! Did I really? Oh. By the way, one of my favorite things in the world has been watching like videos from In-N-Out Burger when they announce order number 6-7.
Oh yeah.
Oh, when they all
I have to say, I mean, it really just to see these kids so happy. And they scream and they yell, and it's just 6-7.
I teach my schoolers, so I have it every day. It's nonstop. It's insane.
Here's the thing. That is the type of thing that would usually annoy the fuck out of me. But because everyone else seems so annoyed by it, I'm kind of cool with it. Like I'm kind of like embracing it because it seems to trigger so many other people that I feel like, okay, this is funny because so many people are triggered by it.
But when
like in basketball games, like somebody's on the free throw line with 66 points, they shoot 6-7, and kids in the crowd go crazy. I'm cool with it.
People already love In-N-Out Burger.
For some fucking reason, yeah.
You're anticipating your
some fucking reason.
Animal style, and then when you hear 6-7, and then all the kids erupt, especially right next to Hollywood High School to that In-N-Out Burger. Come on.
Fucking In-N-Out rules.
Don't pretend like I didn't live in California for 5 years.
You did, but you grew up in Indiana. Like your bland food in fucking Indiana on a farm. Whatever the fuck you're doing.
Bland food. In-N-Out Burger. Look, In-N-Out Burger is a perfectly good burger at a very good price. Let's stop fucking pretending like it is just this fucking gourmet from the gods with fries that you need to know a fucking secret menu just to make them goddamn edible. Okay, you're talking about bland. The fucking fries at In-N-Out, you gotta choke them down. And you gotta order from
not animal fries. Animal fries, man. Animal fries fucking rule.
Overrated.
Why is it that the rest of the world has to denigrate In-N-Out when we all know the truth?
We do. We just
I've lived in your shithole state, Robert. I've experienced it. I sat in line for it. I don't know why I sat in line for it, but I sat in line for it.
You know what?
Worth it.
I preferred Fat Burger when I was there personally, but that's because it was cheaper. That's just me.
Yeah. In-N-Out is very reasonably priced.
Nobody asked you, Odin. No, just kidding.
By the way, as a dude, In-N-Out what I've aspired to since I was a young whippersnapper, and as an old man, I still aspire to the same thing. In-N-Out, steady, good, tasty.
When it comes to women, I agree, Robert. But when it comes to burgers, I have higher expectations.
Robert,
what were you saying?
Remember in the 80s what made In-N-Out popular was their sticker said In-N-Out Burger, and you cut it out and it would say In-N-Out Urge.
Yeah.
And you would put that on your car, and that was
I was born with it, and it never went away.
Cool.
It was like, because it's the 80s. So it was
but
popular.
there wasn't much to do. That was the height of entertainment.
It was the 6-7 of the 80s. It's like, I like to get laid.
The In-N-Out Urge never go away. That's why Charlie Chaplin had how many kids?
A lot, almost as many as Garrett and Shad. Almost.
There you go.
They're little broods in a world. Where was I? After the Klingon singing and dancing, anything that Kurtzman could do now, it would be useless to try to capture us again. If it weren't for Disparu and Az, I wouldn't even know about this show airing. Hail, chat, and stream. Love you guys. We love you too. Thank you, Zenzel.
Guess I can only apologize for that then.
As you should.
No, they're doing a great job. I'm going to be a little behind on. They're faster with their reviews. I am going to review every episode.
Are you?
Garrett was super happy to hear about that. Super happy. But yeah, go watch the reviews. They're really good. I can't watch them until I'm done with mine, just so I don't like pick anything up through.
My favorite type of reviews.
It could be shit.
Yeah, he's just hoping. But my favorite sort of the reviews are the ones where they where they try and be funny in the show because they always miss.
Oh, they
well,
always.
like Shield and Willow.
Ian So Forth for 50 British pounds, proper money. Said tea isn't sexy.
What are you doing?
Tea isn't sexy. It took me 2 tubs of aloe vera to learn that.
What are you doing, Ian?
What?
Ian, don't drive tonight.
Bad
please.
Ian. Bad
Ian. There's always a seat for you in a meeting that I attend.
He's probably forgot where his car is by this point. He'll be fine.
I support Ian's ventures.
Can't wait for Japan.
Japan, yeah. They were talking about karaoke on the Japan trip. And
who was?
That'll be fun.
The coordinators. And you were brought up, Ryan. You were brought up. So, Robert, we are going on a Japan trip. We did the Egypt trip. It was very successul. It was fun.
Really cool stuff, by the way.
Oh, it's fucking amazing. You should go there if you haven't been already.
Oh, I've never been to. I've been to Israel. I've never been to Egypt.
The dollar goes pretty far in Egypt.
Like
but Japan's my
was
dream.
Like $3.
Gary, Japan is my dream.
We're going to Japan in May, Robert. We have 80 people going on this trip. Ryan is one of them.
Wow.
Wait a minute. How do you get on this trip?
If you want to get on the trip, there is a waiting list. There might be somebody who drops out, but it is a.
You never know.
You never know.
What do you do?
It's a tour of megalithic Japan, Robert.
Wow.
We're checking out all the megaliths, ancient history, Graham Hancock.
Randall
Japan, by the way, he's right.
Look at how similar these big rocks look to big rocks other places around the world.
Japan has some amazing shit, but we're also checking out like the city and stuff and doing.
Okay, because there's a specific Gundam model I need.
Well, you just let me know. You let me know, and I'll find it for you. I look at the Gundam.
I want to go to Japan. Nippon.
I can't wait, and I hate flying, but I can't wait for this trip. This is going to be tons of fun.
Oh,
you're gonna,
dude, I'm in. I mean, you guys, you gotta go to Toho Studios. The makers of the Godzilla movies. They probably will let you guys in.
Cool.
If you're going to see Megalith, Japan history, the Toho Studios. I will see. I will see if we can. Hey, I am the biggest shill for one of the biggest shills for Godzilla.
Godzilla minus one.
And now they're making Godzilla minus 0. I can't wait.
Oh yeah, that was
official release date this year. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, and Japan is one of my favorite. Have you guys seen a YouTuber named Cole? He has a channel called Tokyo Sims. Okay, if you guys, by the way, I'm not shilling for him. I don't know him. I know, but he sits there and he's in the Shinjuku district of Tokyo, and he just does interviews. He's traveled around, and he's like a really handsome guy that's always asking people questions. There's a lot of kinky, weird people that he talks to, but Tokyo.
The first video that came up was one called "Mummy Issues."
Wait, hang on, watch that. Because the girl, no, I'm just saying.
Aren't the Japanese people like the most sexually repressed people in the world or some shit?
Yes, they're the ones with underpants and a vending machine.
Just saying. What was that, Robert?
Well, if the mommy issues video is the one with, there's one girl, apparently she's another YouTuber or somebody. I don't know. I don't deal. I'm old. There's a lot of YouTubers I miss out on. But that one girl who asks Cole, do you want to be called mommy? That girl is astonishingly gorgeous. And she has her own YouTube channel with her own. Not that I know I'm giving up too much.
You're like,
I have the
URL memorized. I wish I was a guy addicted to porn or gooning, because I'm not. I watch YouTube videos for people that live in places I'd love to go to.
Dude,
that's my porn.
You are a gooner
or Starship model.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're a gooner for ship porn. Okay,
that is it,
and so am I.
True.
That's a P on the end of that one.
I'm like, oh no, I'm like, oh my God. You have a 1/350 scale refit.
Jesus,
it's a good thing Extra Girl's so tall, so we'll be able to tell her apart from all the other people in Japan.
Yep.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we get long.
I'm just saying, I goon for Warp Drive.
I do too. Ian So Forth for 50 British pounds says, I'm glad Disparu got his hair cut. It looked shit. Oh, I was kind of thinking Disparu would wait until he came out to the States and Melissa could cut his hair, but
by the way,
clippers over it.
Yeah.
Gary's wife, she's the greatest woman in the world.
I agree. Thank you, Rob.
I am too English to do something like that deliberately, because I'd be like, I don't want to pressure somebody else to cut my hair, and then so I'd be like, no, it's wrong to put that on somebody. So
I think she would rock your world, though. At least the music she'd play while she cut your hair would be the best music you've ever
you guys
heard.
Bonded over the Cocteau Twins.
She would have the rockin' playlist of all time, just so you know.
She's got good taste in music and better taste in men. Just saying.
I don't disagree.
Zanzoltan for 2,000 arses. They burned all my goodwill when they released She-Hulk and killed that character. Love the comics. The show, it's pure shit. I was done with that moment after believing anything Disney could do with the MCU, be it shows like the disaster that was Ironheart 2 and the movies. I think it is close. Character vandalization, believe it or not, if you're a true blue comic fan, what they did to She-Hulk was unforgivable, from what she was in the comics to what she was in the show. And Moon Knight, Robert brought it back. What they did to fucking Moon Knight was awful.
Moon Knight has been a character that they had so many different iterations, but I'm always like, go back to first principles.
Go back to the first one.
I mean,
yeah.
he was the romantic version of Batman, he was a monogamous guy. He had a girlfriend, Marlene, and he had multiple secret identities. He was a romantic figure. They could have gone into that, and they went with a weird, crazy mid-2000s creation of a schizophrenic person, which is fine, but they didn't do that well.
I'm forgetting the writer's name, and I don't want to attribute him to the wrong thing. But one of the writers for Marvel Comics in around 2015 and 16 took a picture of his butthole to own somebody.
I think that was Max Bemis.
Was it Max Bemis? And that, well, didn't he write? So. Didn't he write?
He did write.
He wrote Moon Knight.
Moon Knight. Yeah, he also did not Borderlands.
Well, Moon, he got the moon part right.
I guess so.
I guess.
Yeah, that dude's like legit pretty fucking crazy.
Well, I mean, I think that's why they hired him on, because he was crazy, and they did that multiple personality bullshit that I fucking hate. Robert's right. It should just be Marvel's Batman. He's got one of the best fucking costumes ever created.
But
go back to the Sienkiewicz.
Yeah, this Doug Sienkiewicz, you know, the first 30 issues of Moon Knight, which, by the way, it had Werewolf by Night.
Yes.
You know, Stained Glass Scarlet. I mean,
first
so
appearances
good.
In Werewolf by Night. So.
And, by the way, I did love the Marvel one-shot, the Werewolf by Night one-shot. I thought that
wasn't bad. I thought that's one of the better live action.
You know? Yeah.
One of the better live action. But, like, the only things that I actually liked that were live action were Werewolf by Night and the Guardians Christmas special.
That was so good.
I thought it was cool.
I mean, they got Kevin Bacon to be in it.
Yep.
Wild.
Ian So Forth for 50 British pounds. Oh, God.
Badlands. That was the book.
I
I don't know what he's talking about.
I love Robert, but sometimes his voice makes me feel like someone is trying to smother me under a plastic bag whilst gently whispering to me in a 1920s speakeasy.
I'll take it. That's exactly
and he
what
drops another 50 pounds to say this. What the fuck was that tea joke I made earlier?
Reminds us of Wild Places.
We love you. Be careful. Oh my God, there's more coming up. Forest Beyond the Trees for 50. Robert, I love your takes, and I appreciate your insistence for these guys to take a chance on Picard season 3. I already did. I watched it based on all of your reviews. I lost my dad around the same time, and the relationship between Jack and Picard hit me hard in the feel.
Yeah. True great storytelling is not objective. I mean, it is objective. It's not subjective. It will get into you.
Yeah.
If it's a great story, it doesn't matter what you believe personally. A great story is self-evident, and it will permeate whatever subconscious thing that you put out. And that's why storytelling is my favorite thing in the world, because really great stories represent everyone.
My favorite, I like Picard season 3. I had a lot of shit for it, and that's fine. Give me shit. It's cool. My favorite plot element of Picard season 3 is everybody under a certain age got a mind virus from the Borg.
Which was really clever.
Yes,
it was. Yeah.
Ian So Forth for 50 British pounds. Imagine being a nurse in 45 years' time that has to say, "Calm down, Mr. Kinnell."
I wouldn't wish that on anybody, which is why I don't intend to ever get that old.
45 years time. I'm going to say 15 years time.
You think it'll be 52 in a home?
With his luck, it'll be a
You're
male
gonna be your
nurse.
age in a home.
I wish I was 52. Bombhead Brian for 50 British pounds. Proper money. Says, Ian, get out of my car. The Pantless Hero has gifted 10 Nerdrotic memberships for $50. Thank you. Wednesday night, 11 p.m. Central, Starfleet Academy watch party. Zenzolten for 1,000 arses. Everything on the MCU after Infinity Saga was shit, especially Doctor Strange Mom, Thor Love and Thunder, The Marvels, Captain America Brave New World. Wait, everything after Infinity Saga Doomsday is going to be the same. RMB, you're a paid chill. Haha, he's just joking.
Please pay me. Please.
Give me those MCU bucks.
Pay him so we can actually call him a paid shill.
They might not have
I would love to say it. Just pay me.
Ian So Forth for 50 British pounds. Because I'm not drunk, Gary. I just need you to hug me in Japan. I need you to hug folks in Japan, and that makes me drunk. Is it? Don't you mean does it?
I'm ready for some sake in Japan, honestly.
Yes. Ramen and sushi every day.
Hell yeah.
I can pass on the sushi. I'll find
pass.
Japanese McDonald's.
Yeah, I'll be with you. Ryan.
Actually,
yeah,
guys,
like I'm not a huge fan of fish when it's cooked, let alone fucking raw.
7-Eleven are places I want
heard.
to go. They're apparently like
They're
gourmet, right?
Yeah, under $8 you can eat like.
Do they have
Like
the
7-Elevens are? They're not like they are here. I've always wanted to go to a Japanese.
I love 7-Eleven food here, so I'll probably
Yeah,
eat
I like 7-Eleven hot dogs. But hey,
7-Eleven pizza, chicken, dogs, bro. I love 7-Eleven.
Went to a McDonald's
Dogs?
in Egypt, and it was the best meal I had. So there you go.
I fucking believe it. Shithole country like that.
All right, we'll get the rest on a square up on Monday on Nerdrotic Live and Rumble at 11 a.m. Central. Unless, of course, I should be done with my video by then, so I won't push it to the evening. So we'll get the rest then. I'd like to thank everyone for joining us. This was a really long show. Thanks, Robert, for staying this whole time.
Thank you for inviting me, and I want to thank everybody who watches and all the people that have already come after me on Twitter. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Hey, let's have a great discussion.
Robert, thank you for talking to us.
Gary, you know what? I've loved you for years. I've been watching this show. Everyone loves X-Ray Girl. Come on. And all of you, it is, as I've said, my entire YouTube channel, the Burnett Work, subscribe if you want, is all about dialogue. We should always talk to each other. And you know what's great? We are, at the end of the day, we are all fans.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
What we want is great fantasy storytelling, whether it's horror, science fiction, or fantasy itself. We just want great stories being told by creators that we believe in.
Yeah, and that's what I appreciate about having Robert on is I think that there's a lot of things even in life, Robert, that we're probably like diametrically opposed to in some things, but I love having the discussions and having the different perspective, and when it's someone who's genuine and is willing to talk to us and we're willing to talk to them and we can talk about all this crazy shit. So I like it.
And that's the nerd level too.
That's the world we should be living in.
Yep.
That's how it used to be.
And it absolutely used to be. And I honestly believe that the great thing about fandom is I think all of fandom, we kind of agree on the same stuff. If you think about it, and if you drive down and think, why do we love Lord of the Rings? Why do we love Raiders of the Lost Ark? Why do we love Alien and Aliens? Why do we love these things? Because there's a commonality of great storytelling. There is. Everyone loves Blade Runner.
Yep.
I mean, some people don't, but everyone, because at the end of the day, Roy Batty's speech, all these moments will be lost in time, like tears in the rain. Every single person that loves science fiction, fantasy, and superhero stories understands what that means. And that's where we all meet. We meet with our tears in the rain. And if we don't understand this, where's our future going to be?
Yep.
But I really believe that that's where we all meet. No umbrellas. We meet with our tears in the rain, all of us. And we have to remember that.
It's pretty gay, Robert.
I want whatever Robert's on right now. Whatever Jimmy.
I just thought I was being a little profound. Just
you were.
Christ's sake.
We pulled the Starfleet Academy. Immediately undermined it.
Back to my just rusty trombones. It's all it is.
Decorating my apartment over and over again.
As long as I can blow. No, but I honestly believe it. I do. I do think that.
Hell yeah. True. Isn't it? Razorfist pointed out. Isn't it weird that Rutger Hauer died the same year he died in Blade Runner?
Oh my God!
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
He planned.
Wow.
I'm gonna see a musical performance of the here in San Antonio. They're doing Blade Runner with an orchestra doing the.
I love
nice.
Yeah, that's in a week. Going in a week. Can't wait. It's gonna be awesome. All right.
Look,
so,
at the end of the day, dude, I just want to say, finally, Avengers Doomsday is being made by a lot of people. They want us to have a good time. They do.
Convince me. All right.
Robert, bring another $5 out of that Avengers Doomsday.
All right, we're going to go around the horn real quick. What do you got coming up, comics?
Streaming tonight, game stream, 9 p.m. Central on my channel. Of course, I stream every Monday and Thursday, 9 p.m. Central as well. And I'll see you guys next week.
Awesome. Odin.
Yeah, OMB reviews on YouTube, Rumble, over on X as well. Our Raven Awards, 8th annual Crazy Raven Award nominations just went out. So if you want to vote and make your voice be heard, check out my website, ombreviews.com, for a link to the ballot and also, of course, to my channel and also times that I go live. Thank you.
Brilliant. X-Ray Girl.
X-Ray Girl everywhere. I game Sunday Fun Day. It's going to be Az's birthday. So if you want to say happy birthday to Az, you can head over there Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern. And then Forbidden Frontiers in the evening on Sundays as well at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Yeah. on Saucy Saturdays on Wicked Virtues channel.
Awesome. Chrissy.
Oh, Simpcast is Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern on my channel. And then, oh no, that's the week after that. Yeah, I've got things. More interviews getting lined up all the time. And I have a pink controller, so I'm an official gamer now. So look out for more gaming stuff.
Welcome to the gamer sphere. I cordially welcome you. Disparu.
Second half of Stranger Things making of, and I want to go through the reviews of Mercy, just because everyone seems to be slating that, and I think it could be funny.
I saw it yesterday.
I kind of want to see it. Yeah.
It's bad. Ryan.
I don't know. Geeks and Gamers Daily every fucking day at 11 a.m. Eastern until the day I die. Sports Wars on Sunday mornings. My channel I stream on Wednesdays and Sundays, and on Mondays we do Fuck My Life with Jared Dark. Me and Gary are going to have a title for our Harry Potter podcast at some point in time. Maybe we'll have a title. We'll figure one out. And other than that, I'm probably just going to get drunk tonight. I don't know.
Great.
About it.
That's fantastic. And once again, thank you, Robert, and tell the fine folks where they can find you.
You can find me on YouTube at the Burnett Work, or find me at RMB on Instagram. I have an audio drama that I directed, True Noir, that'll be available worldwide February 17th. It stars Michael Rosenbaum, Anthony LaPaglia, Katie Sackhoff. I'm really it was written by Max Allan Collins, who wrote Road to Perdition, and he just had his book published, The Return of the Maltese Falcon. So join in, come on in, and everyone can attack me for being a Marvel shill.
Dude, well done on that, by the way. That's awesome. Katie Sackhoff.
Oh, thank you. I'm really, it was my favorite thing I've ever done. And it was because Max is such a great writer, and the actors are incredible. And I'd never made an audio drama before. I did an audio drama as if it's a movie that you can't see. So
Theater of the Mind.
Yeah, Theater of the Mind, but it's 4.5 hours long, and it's based on the first of his Nathan Heller detective novels. Such a thrill. He wrote Batman for DC. He wrote Miss Tree, the comic that was published by many different publishers, and to work with him, he's one of my heroes. It was an amazing experience. Shout out to Max Allan Collins.
Shout out. Awesome. Well, thank you again, Robert.
Thank you for having me, Gary.
Dude,
thank you, really.
Anytime.
And you know what, you guys, you're always so nice to me. So thank you.
We like you.
Oh,
well, I appreciate
like you more than most of the people on this panel. So,
but I love all of you. I love your wife most of all, Gary. So it's okay.
Easy.
Oh,
she's the best.
She is the bee's knees.
She is the best, and she has great taste in music.
She does.
And men.
Yes.
By the way, I just want to point out. I did make an AI album.
Oh,
I swear to God, I went, and it's called The Singularity Is Here, and it's all based on 14 songs. There's crazy songs. You can find it on Spotify and Amazon. And yes, did I use AI to make it? I did. It took me 2.5 months to finish it all. It's up to you to decide if it's good. I keep forgetting about it, but it is on Spotify. It's by RMB and the Imagination Connoisseurs, a band I imagined I have.
There you go.
But I don't. So there you go.
I'm so fucking glad Shad isn't here for.
Oh, God. 20 minutes. We've been going on for another half hour.
If you think the music is good, I spent months making it. It's an existential question, but go find it on Spotify and Amazon and come at me, bro.
Awesome. I'll be working on the Starfleet Academy. As my action figures fall down. Episode 3 video, as long as the winter apocalypse doesn't take out Garrett's internet and power, which it might, which starts in a couple of hours. So be safe, everybody, with all that ice coming down, because it's supposed to be really bad. And live stream's coming up, and we'll be back next week with
the Real Life Fake Wizard.
Yes, awesome.
Wow.
Ooh.
That's a great channel. Go check it out. Real Life Fake Wizard. Very good.
Night of Seven Kingdoms, Sunday night.
Sorry.
It's pretty good.
You're right. Night of the Seven Kingdoms, Sunday night, episode 2. I think it's pretty neat. It's pretty fun.
First episode's really solid.
Yeah, it's just intros.
Like you get a lot more out of it if you know the book, obviously. But yeah.
It's a good setup.
Yep. All right. So to the Nerdrotics, thanks to everyone who left super chat and donation. You help keep the lights on. Thanks to all the lurkers. Not all who wander are lost, and may the wings of liberty never lose a feather.
Probably late. Oh, Friday night times. Radical lights. And highly organized. It's Friday night times. Friday night times. If you're still not offended tonight. Oh, Friday night times. Rest assured that the chances are high.
That was good.